Doctor.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? Y'all know the deal, man. Like and share, like and share, like and share, so we get this thing out everywhere. There's anywhere in the world you could be, but just hurry right here with me, the BABGOG. And I appreciate y'all pull up on me. And for the guests of tonight, Mumia Obsidian Ali.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Fantastic?
Hey, I can't complain, old man. What's going on, man?
Everything's going good, man. Everything's going great.
Hey, welcome back home, bro. Welcome back home. You know, it's a guest appearance, but hey, eventually you'll get back over here too. You know what I mean? For sure. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, man. So where did the Black Manosphere begin for Obsidian?
It started in 2015 for me. I was at a website called A Voice for Men. I was writing articles for him. And I interviewed Rouge V. I interviewed him in 2015. And it was a big...
And Rouge was a pickup artist, used to be former pickup artist, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And I interviewed him. And toward the end, I asked him about black men, the state of black men. And he said that was something for black men to decide. It wasn't for him or any other, like white outfit to decide what the situation with black men was going to be. That was something that they had to take on their own. And so that got me to thinking about going ahead and doing my own thing. I had been writing up until that point. I've been writing for about 6 years. I started in 2009 after my career-ending workplace accident. And I had thought to myself, well, I've taken this writing thing as far as I can go, or so I thought. And I said, well, maybe there's something else I can do. So I saw Tommy Sotomayor doing this thing on YouTube. And that got me to thinking, maybe I can do something similar to that. So I did some research for about 6 months. And then I finally did my first podcast in June of 2015. It was only like 15 minutes long. And it wasn't going live then or anything like that, live streaming. It was just straight up pre-recorded video uploads.
Okay.
And I did that and I never looked back.
Cool. So pretty much your industriousness, from your career was like, hey man, I can't look for somebody else to fix my problems. I'm a black man. You know what I'm saying I have these problems, so why not be, you know, one of the methods of trying to get them fixed and trying to come to a way, right?
Right. And that's pretty much what I did. I just went on ahead and took the bull by the horns and never looked back. I didn't know O'Shea and Angry Man at the time.
Okay.
I didn't know them. I was just starting out on my own, but I would run into them later. They came on around the same time, around 2015 too. And we all linked up, and it was Angry Man that came up with the idea of a black manosphere.
For sure.
So
Shout
I like
out
the
to
sound
AM,
of it.
shout out to O'Shea. So this is one of the things I kind of have conflict with City, because they love saying this. Oh well, the black manosphere started from the white man, and I would being that, you know, we've done the history behind these things, and now we have the footage of where the black men were having these conversations way back in the 70s. I really started moving away from that, because there's proof of us having these issues, just not having the avenues to express our opinions and be able to, you know, get what we feel needs to be done out there.
Right.
So what do you see from the transition of, especially going from the more writing methods, you know, back in the blog days, and, you know, people going from written media, right, print media, to now where we have everything is not only social media but live in real time? What do you think impact that's had for the advantage of black men getting our message out?
It's been huge. It's been major. I mean, you look at somebody like Andrew Tate, and you know, people, you know, have their views about him, but the simple fact of the matter is that he continues to be, you know, relevant. I think he did an interview recently with I can't remember the name of it, but it's a Middle Eastern lady, and he at the time had over 150,000 views. Probably got like 200,000 at this point. So, and that was either earlier this month or late last month, one of the two. Is recent. So that just goes to show you that he remains to be, you know, he remains being relevant. Um, I was reading something from Chris Williamson, and he was talking about how a lot of people don't understand just how racially mixed the manosphere is. That most of Andrew Tate's followers are not white; they're men of color, and that a big part of the manosphere is not white; it's men of color. So that would include black men, Asian men, and so on. And so yeah, that right there alone has been huge. Tommy Sotomayor, even without YouTube, is doing just great on Rumble. Fresh and Fit is another example. They've had their problems with YouTube, but that hasn't stopped them from being relevant. They're doing just fine on Rumble. Yours truly, you know, I'm working it out on Rumble and making collabs over here on YouTube. So it's the video component, the social media component has been really big for the black manosphere. And one other thing I'd like to say too, because you know, you hear this a lot. The idea that the black manosphere is aping the white manosphere. I can tell you right now, that's not true. Like Ruth said, you know, that's something black men have to figure out for themselves. That's not something for us to figure out. And I took what he said to heart, and he was right. Black men, I mean, we have things in common with the white manosphere, but there are also things that are unique in the black manosphere. And I'm glad that we, at least in my case, I took what Ruth said seriously and just went on ahead and did a damn thing. And then, of course, you know, you can't have any conversation about this without dealing with Kevin. He like really blew the whole space up. I was looking at that brother FD Signifier and him saying that Kevin was the only real breakout star of the black manosphere. Well, I would say the FD Signifier, we only need one. We only need one. Who have they got on their side who has done what Kevin has done? We only need one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing too. Not just this. I remember the brother. I can't remember the dude. He would always say rooftop Jeff and gunshot Mike. That guy. I can't remember what the British brother, right? Globally, right? And then the brothers on the diaspora. You have your European brothers. Shout out the dudes from the continent. You know, O'Shea's over there in the continent now doing work. So again, man. Then like you said, that being a way to help boost the passport bros, because that international interaction and things. The passport bros is a separate thing, but still a part. It's like all this auxiliary things, and I'm glad you said that too. How many detractors, because you always will shout out the detractors outside of Black women, how surprising are you of the Black men that are going against the Black manosphere so much?
Quite. Yeah, to tell you the truth, that kind of took me aback. I was kind of expecting it from Black women because, let's be honest, much of our online content, we have the Black Manosphere Conclave, and we don't, over a whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we talk about Black women maybe 20% of the time, if that. So most of our online discourse has to do with Black women. So I kind of expected them to be kind of like rough, that's to be expected. What I didn't expect was so many Black men to kind of take issue with it and push back on it. Like I said, FD Signifier and others. But the Vision said it best in what was it, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Our strength invites challenge. So I expect it. Bring it on.
Indeed. So O'Shea Angry Man create the Black Manosphere. When does do the panel start? When does the Obsidian, at least 3 hours, sometime marathon days? When did I think was it Google?
I do not miss those days, man. Those
what was it? Google Hangouts, the Hangouts days.
Yeah, that got started, if I remember right, 2017, 2018. Okay. Something like that. And then it kind of went from there. Like I said, I don't miss those days. I kind of like these days where I can do something like an hour and a half and I'm done for the night. But those days, man, whew, my God, 4 and 5 hour streams and that sort of thing, man. And and banging out and all that.
Yeah, definitely that, man. So now we're to let's get to the present. So we know the whole thing happened with YouTube, right? And you had to make your way over to Rumble. And another thing I think a lot of people forgot. What was the name of the you were over on the
Mixler?
The actual radio? What was the name of it?
Mixler?
Yeah, Mixler. So you started the whole, hey, even when you had the YouTube channel, you were trying to Mixler thing and doing the cross-platform aspect and pretty much trying to, I guess, get us not to put your eggs in one basket, because at any point in time you say something YouTube don't like, especially with our subject matter, you can't be whisked away, right?
Yeah.
And especially with the help and the behest of, people claiming certain things or whatnot, what have you. So where do you see the difference between Rumble and YouTube when it comes to opportunity for Black men specifically to have a platform and say what they want to say without, having to worry about it coming back on you or someone trying to go, tell and claim victim and all these different things in order to get your message out?
Well, Rumble, the difference with Rumble is that it was designed with freedom of speech in mind. Its president and CEO, can't remember his first, Chris Pavlovsky. He's a native Canadian. I want to say Toronto. And he created Rumble. He actually created Rumble like 2013, but it's only in recent years has it gotten really a lot of traction. And he designed it to defend people's right to freedom of speech. So it's like the anti-YouTube. And it's got some other things going for it too. And I don't want to get into the technical weeds with it, but it's very similar to YouTube. It's a video uploading platform. You can go live on there. They got their own proprietary live streaming software, Rumble Studio. You can do that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start experimenting with that on my live show. If not this week, the next week, I'm gonna experiment with that. So they got a lot of things going for it, but it's big. The number one big thing about it is that it's for freedom of speech. So
cool. How many, but so before you, I guess this last time, how many channels? I remember you guys always talk about the hit list. You used to bring that up all the time.
Yeah, a decade ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many channels had you lost before the last one?
About maybe 3.
3.
Yeah, I haven't
So because
gone through a whole lot of channels, just 3.
yeah, in those days it was like, I guess Wild Wild West, and people could flag you without any type of justification, and then your channel just be gone. That was just some of Tommy's biggest complaints about the whole YouTube platform. I think they've changed that now to where if anything, outside of it being, some extremist stuff, you're not gonna lose a channel. You might that at most they'll age restrict the video, right?
Yeah.
So black female fuckery, is it still paying the old man?
Yeah. I coined a number of phrases that have kind of, caught on, and that's one of them. Some people would say that's like my major contribution is that phrase. But yeah, I don't, it's funny. People will say, me in particular, you say things about negative about women, so on and so forth. I said, okay, let's assume that's true. Isn't it true that women say negative things about men and make a lot of money doing it? I mean, TLC said negative things about men. What's her name? Kim Burrell, I think her name was, that wrote the song, I Don't Want No Scrubs, trying to holler at me and all that. They made millions of dollars off of that. Oprah Winfrey has made billions. There have been all kind of women that make a lot of money talking, greasy about black men, and nobody has a problem with that. But as soon as a brother, airs his opinion about certain black women's behavior and does it in an entertaining way, now all of a sudden it's a problem. So
Exactly.
there you go.
That's one of the biggest thing too. Us exposing the straight black man's experience, right? And the difficulty you have once you understand just how much the women try to take advantage while not, adding anything really to the situation. When you start talking about those situations, you're incel, you're misogynist, what else? Oh, you're broke, you're poor, you're gay, all these negative things. And it's just crazy, like you said, when we've seen this being corporate pushed, brought the Oprahs, the music industry, the movies, Color Purple, all these different things. Anything that perpetuates a negative stereotype of the black man, greenlit, is pushed to the forefront, right? But as soon as you challenge any of those narratives and you start giving, stats, data, research, now it's an issue and a problem, and everybody need to put their microphones up.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But what's interesting, and again, I'm going to keep referencing FD Signifier because we all know he's a coward. He won't face me or anybody that can really give him a real fight in the debate. So I'm going to keep calling him out. I've sent him an open letter. I emailed it to him. I posted it all over the internet. And I'm going to keep on talking about him until he mans up, sacks up, and face me in the debate. He want to talk trash about the Black Manosphere? I got the Tiger tank for his tank. He can come here and he can get this work. Now, as far as your question, what's funny, back to the elections last year, nobody thought that the Manosphere in general, nobody thought that the Manosphere was going to play a role in the elections. Everybody was looking at Kamala Harris, the standard bearer and apostle for the Democrat Party, and the election was going to be framed around female-centric issues, my body, my choice, and abortion, and so on. And then the Manosphere came out of nowhere. Donald Trump, listening to his youngest son, Barron, tilted full tilt into the Manosphere, goes on a lot of different, on the white side, to be fair, goes on a lot of different platforms. But the one that really did it for him was Joe Rogan. And that one podcast, my understanding is that when he first did it, it got like 50 million views. And that's what put him over the top. The Manosphere in general actually put a president in the White House. So what it tells me is that we are a force to be reckoned with. And that's the reason why people like a FD Signifier and whatnot are running scared. And they should be. For too long, and to be fair, again, this is on the white side, but it also involves us as well. For too long, black men's issues have been getting short shrift. And the Black Manosphere in particular has had enough of that. And we've taken to our microphones and our smartphones and our podcasts to make our issues known and heard. And we are displeased with the behavior of some, not all, but some Black women. And we don't apologize about speaking about that. And we're going to keep on speaking about it. So,
exactly. So yeah, a lot of people aren't aware they were calling this election the Manosphere election, and even putting people. Joe Rogan isn't a Manosphere guy, of course, but they pretty much label him such is because men centric issues, topics, all those different things, and now I think Democrats are trying to spend $20 million in order to learn men, right, for the things we do over here. You know what I'm saying? For nowhere near $20 million on a daily basis. So yeah, again, I think it's another one of these things as to where, oh, you niggas just talking or you niggas just complaining and ain't can't don't want theory, as I like to call it, to diminish something that's extremely, extremely powerful that you can't acknowledge in the Black community, because again, it takes away the power from the women and it empowers the men where it's supposed to properly be.
I agree. It's interesting you make that point about the Democrat Party trying to win back. And to be honest, we need to put a finer point on this. They're trying to win back white men and Hispanic men. They already got Black men. 78% of Black men voted for the Democrat Party last year. So we're the minority, the Black Manosphere. Not many Democrats in the Black Manosphere. There's a few, but it's not many. Most of the Democrat Party's only real male base are Black men. And given how they were treated by the Democrats last year, Barack Obama kind of finger wagging at them, and Kamala Harris at the last minute trying to finally offer a fig leaf. You wonder why Black men still stay with the party. I think it has a lot to do with Black women kind of working guilt on them. I think that has a lot to do with it. What Kevin called sign language, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. I think a lot of Black women kind of work a lot of guilt on Black men. And if you're in a Black manosphere, you're courageous, and that sort of thing doesn't work on you, and you're curious, and you're independent minded, and you're contrarian. So about roughly 20 to 25% of Black men like that are in the Black manosphere. So the FD signifier types, he really does represent the kind of where most Black men are, predicated on voting patterns. And I say it's a match made in heaven. I think they got those guys. They listen, if you like the party of, the proverbial purple-haired feminists, we don't really, we have a few of those in Black America, but typically they're white. Isn't it interesting that those feminists, they remind you of something out of a bad X-Men movie? Yeah. They look like a bad, not the cool mutants, the really cool ones. They look like
the ones that Storm was over. I know you're talking about the Marauders, I think is what they call it, the underground.
They look like the Reavers and that sort of thing. Yeah. They look like those type. And on the white side, you can kind of pick them out. You can pick out the feminists from the regular, normie white women, right? But the trick with the Black feminists is that they're indistinguishable from the rank and file Black woman. They all kind of look like something out of a bad X-Men movie, and that's a problem. That's a problem. So,
yeah, the septum ring theory is almost undefeated. That's one of the telltale signs. She got a septum ring and moons and stones and all that stuff, necklaces. Yeah, run the other way. So the future. How much further, or how long do you think it takes for the Black manosphere to, I guess, expand from where it already is to where we now have some semblance of Joe Rogan or Tim Pool or any of these other people? You know what I'm saying? Pretty much like the person that would not necessarily be the next Kevin, but something similar to Kevin, if not by committee.
I'm glad you brought that up. I write about this I have a book on Kevin coming out, and he and I talked about it right before he died, and it's going to be coming out this fall. And I write in the book, I don't think that we need another Kevin Samuels, somebody really big, millions of views, and no. What we need is a bunch of little Kevin Samuels, kind of like nanobots. We need guys that's got 10,000 subs on this channel, 5,000 here, 25,000 there, and they're all doing this everywhere. Instead of one big guy, we need about 1 million little guys. I call it the nanobot strategy. And as soon as we have, we're growing all the time. And those little views, they add up. The biggest channels that really perform are the smallest ones, not the biggest ones. So that's really what we need. We need a bunch of little Kevin Samuels. That's what we really need.
Exactly. Okay, so how many times has the Black Manosphere died, been killed, or whatever? How many times does that happen?
Yeah, it reminds you of a bad zombie movie, right? Yeah, this idea that the Manosphere is dead. So these are basically haters. There's just no other way of putting it. Some of them are what I call the Black Manosphere's rejects. You talked about that when I was over on.
Oh yeah. Big J Triple
DJ
X a reject. Big J Triple X. Who else? Who else is a reject? That's the only name that comes to mind right now. But like, yeah. The stalker guy that just couldn't wait to get up and talk to you. Yeah. People like that who want to be a part, but don't cut it, and then they're jealous, and now the Black Manosphere is the worst thing ever. Yeah.
So you typically hear that from those people. I call them, the dark corners of the Black Manosphere. You got these guys in the dark corners, and they're kind of like the Black Manosphere's rejects. Those are mainly the ones that do it, and then the other people that do it are the FD signifier people. But every time you turn around, they got our name in their mouth. If we so dead, how come they always talking about us? So
that's what I mean.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's we've been dead and come back about 15 times at this point. So
okay, yeah. Well, like I said, at some point, especially like after after Kevin passed away, it was like twice a year, or like at least like once a quarter at sometimes. Kevin Samuels this, Kevin Samuels that, and all of y'all are Kevin Samuels lights, and you have to go to the thing and tell people like, hey man, Kevin Samuels used to be on the same panels. Like, what I mean? Kevin Samuels was, doing the thing like everybody else was. So everybody
he went through the gauntlet. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Everybody that does this, Black Manosphere thing, or who went through that process, is not a result of, a follower of Kevin Samuels or Kevin Samuels' creation. Now, I will ask you that though. A lot of people now are either just straight up copycatting, or even worse, taking content and using it as their own to just what's your take on I think a lot of the originality is being lost now. What is your take on that, and how you think that will ever change, get worse or better?
I think, well, the old adage, imitation is the highest form of flattery, and it's spreading the message, and that's what social media is all about. Is about virality. It's about people sharing and liking, and when somebody does something that clicks, other people are going to copy it. And I think that's a good thing. I think that people sharing Kevin's content, people taking bits and pieces of his formula and making it their own, that's spreading the greater Black Manosphere message. That ensures that our message is out there. And I think that's a good thing.
Okay. So now, you're over on Rumble. O'Shea's still here. I think he's doing the celebrity stuff now. Angry Man, shout out to him. He's doing his thing. He's still here. And we saying this like a reunion or whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. So does the next generation need to operate like you said, let everybody just do their thing? Does it need to be more organization? What do you think could have been done for the Black Manosphere to run better? What would have been your suggestions in hindsight for this thing to, everybody be able to coexist and work from that lens?
I think the single biggest thing that needs to happen next now is the Black Manosphere needs to go into the real world. There's this idea. I'm going to go back to FD Signifier. This idea that we're all just basement dwellers playing video games all day, and we're sitting with dirty drawers on, and losers and that sort of stuff. And so, matter of fact, you know what? I can show people better than I can tell them. Hold on a second. Let me. I should have queued this up already, but let me go ahead and share this. No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and share this. Let me go ahead and share this with everybody. There you go.
The world shifts beneath our feet. Black men stand at the forefront of a new era.
I want to make sure that the issues confronting Black men are spoke upon by Black men who have a vested interest in the Black community.
Bold, unapologetic, and ready.
We can get further, faster, collectively.
The Black Manosphere Conclave in Miami is your crucible for growth.
If you're resistant to change, you only want to do one thing in one way, you're not going to make it. It's not going to work.
Across 3 electrifying days, unite with visionaries to master cutting-edge skills, build game-changing networks, and harness the wisdom of the Black male experience.
This is about taking men, Black men, and making them better men.
The Black Manosphere Conclave.
Our central message to Black men specifically: you are whoever you decide that you are.
Black men don't need anybody but other Black men to make this happen.
Nothing substitutes being in the room with those that can actually help you, to shake hands, to break bread, to share libations with those folks.
Go where you are celebrated, brother, and don't stand where you're being tolerated.
This is more than a conference. It's your launchpad to lead, innovate, and thrive. Step into greatness, gentlemen. Welcome to the Black Manosphere Conclave, version 5.0.
Yeah, so that's we're having a conclave in Miami this year. And by the way, fellas, you need to be at the conclave. You want to make some serious money doing work with computers. Theo has just started his AI class, and it's big. You need to be there. You need to be there. You need to go to the website. You need to get your tickets, blackmanosphere.com. You need to be there. This thing is huge. And people are asking why 5.0? Because this is our 5th year that we've done the conclave. We got started in 2021. And when we got started in 21, we had about 100 guys. In 2022, we had about 50. Last year in Houston, we had over 400. So it's going to be even bigger this year. So, like I said, Theo just started teaching AI, just started the class. So you need to be there. I'm telling you, you need to be there. This is huge. I think just AI alone is going to generate upwards of $2 trillion by the end of the decade. So
yeah, supposed to be by 2030. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, people, I tell people about that on Tuesdays. The amount of jobs that are going to be removed by AI, and that's just AI. We didn't even talk about robots. People forget that robots are on their way. Tesla bots released next year to the public. So by 2030, if you don't have hard skills, right, it's specifically engineering, tech, STEM related things, it's gonna be kind of hard for you out here. So we definitely preach that to brothers, man. Make yourself as versatile and as irreplaceable as possible. So Black Manosphere Conclave, that's a great point, right? Doing the work. I mean, show your work, right? For the longest, y'all don't, like you said, all those negative tropes, right? We've got brothers in fitness, we've got brothers in finance, we got brothers in the tech sector. What aren't Black men doing? I'm saying, what we for when Black women say these things, are they accurate in anything that Black men aren't actually, being up to snuff, up to par on?
Well, they say seeing is believing, right? So we've been doing this for 5 years. So, and it's interesting. We was talking about earlier about, the male haters, the Black Manosphere's rejects. One thing I noticed as the conclaves kept going on, the first year we heard some mumbling from some sisters, but by the time we did the second one and then the third one, Black women got real quiet because they actually saw the video. They actually saw the footage, the receipts. What are they gonna say? So the only real haters at this point, for real, are other Black men who are, like I said, the Black Manosphere's rejects. So for the sisters, they see what's going on. They see the handwriting on the wall. 80% of conclave brothers are active passport holders. We've had 5 brothers come out of the conclave, marry Black women on the continent of Africa in the past 2 years. So
most definitely, man. Okay, for sure. All right. I'm gonna read these super chats. And was there anything else you wanted to add to it? And then I'm gonna open the panel up, let the people come up.
No, go right here. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go and adjust the camera settings and stuff. I'll be right back.
All right. Shout out to my man TIQS. I don't know what that acronym stands for, brother, so I'll just call you that. But I greatly appreciate you for the 20 ball. Obsidian sent me here. Salute to Black men. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to West M for the 5. Really appreciate you. Damn, bro, I'm just now listening to what's going on, old man. I missed the conversation you and Fantastic had on BR shoulders. Yeah, shout out to Bernard Riley, man, wherever he's at. And shout out to my man, Hoop Jargon, BABG alumni in the building. Thank you for the 2 brothers. Salute, fan, and man. Hey, the link's in the chat. If y'all want to come up, man, have questions or whatever. All you people that's hiding in the clouds, you can come down out the clouds as always. My panel is always open. You know what I'm saying? Obsidian's here, man. So if y'all got any questions or you got any comments, smoke, whatever, hey, now's the time. Don't say you didn't get an opportunity. You know what I mean? But y'all niggas do shit where they think it's safe at. You feel me? So it's definitely probably not gonna be the same way over here when y'all got the opportunity to just, But my take from the Black Manosphere, man, again, is the brothers, the brotherhood, especially supporters. Shout out to all y'all. There would be no Black Manosphere without the Black men supporting it. Black women too, here and there. Shout out to all the ladies that support me, that are here pretty much every time I go live. Greatly appreciate them. Also, the few of them that do understand and find value in Black men, right? This thing's gonna go as far as we take it. And as long as we stay here, despite all of the all the distractions and detractors, I think this thing is going to be something beautiful, man. I think it's going to be beautiful and quite impactful, and help change the whole entire Black community as a whole, because we are waking brothers up. Because I remember, right, Obsidian, I think it was only the year before that, maybe 10 to 15% of men did, well, not the year before, but back in the second Trump election, right? The first Trump election, then versus Joe Biden, I think it was like 10% or 12% or something like that, and then it jumped to like 20% of Black men, literally doubled to supporting Trump, or voting against the Democrats. So I think as long as we actually keep speaking and having these messages out here, it's going to wake people up, because most of these brothers know anything other than, like you said, their mom, their grandma, auntie, you know, why'd you vote for Trump, and Trump is racist and Trump is this, and whenever you ask them a question. So out of all the things we cover over here, political intelligence and political awareness has been a major thing, especially since like the lockdowns. And I know for a fact that's doing a lot of work and a lot of help for brothers. Shout out to Tony Golden for the fire. Appreciate you, brother. Dope stream. I found fantastic through Obsidian. Good to see you guys making content together. Keep going and saying the truth and debunking misogyny war. Appreciate you, brother. Here we go. We got OG J Speed in the building. What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Van Dam? Can you hear me loud and clear?
You use it a little bit louder. I can hear you. It sound like you're not in your mic. You only like you sound like you're on your computer mic, not your mic.
Hold on just a minute. Let me see. Can I clarify that? Where's the old man at? Oh, there he is. Old man. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Jay?
Hey, what you got? Well, let's start it off first.
You're kind of low.
Okay,
but thank you, man. Appreciate you for the purchase of the book. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so we're gonna get that out of the way right quick, because you know
Mr. Fantastic, he's really low.
Yeah, I told him he's supposed to be fixing it.
I'm fixing it. Give me a minute, Mr. Van.
No problem. Yeah, so man, you got what? How many books you have now total? You on your fourth one?
Three. You can see them right behind me. I got 3 of them. I got one for the brothers, one for the sisters, and one on Black feminism.
Okay. Speaking of which, I don't know if you're aware of this new person that's entered the arena. It's some sister. She's located in Africa, but she's a PhD, of course, and she's a feminist anarchist. LGBT feminist and anarchist.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with her. What's her name?
Yeah, be on the lookout for her. I'll get it to you and I'll just email it to you later. But okay. She made this whole thing about black men needing to pay for it's time for niggas to pay. Verbatim, that's what she literally said.
Oh, right. I think I know who you're talking about. I think I might.
Yeah, dreads, dark, not that attractive looking woman. Yeah, her.
Isn't it always those ones that do the most talking?
Always. They definitely have an archetype. Try it now, J Speed. You good? You muted though. You muted. Got to unmute. I don't know if you're talking to me or he would.
Yeah, you got to unmute your mic.
Yeah, you muted, J Speed. That's what we're saying. You muted. If you can hear me, I can't. Yeah, I think you're just talking. We'll old man losing to technology right now. So I guess
I was doing too much. That's what it was, Mr. Van Dam.
Are you good now? Perfect.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm good. Yeah. As I was saying, I have always went in the background of the manosphere that I think we don't talk about it enough. The brothers used to have articles. They had their own magazine. If you went on the website, you would know these things, but a lot of people would just come on these panels or in the chat room and didn't even know these things was going on, and he was always publicizing what they was doing in the background. I have always been a thorn. Thank you, City. I ain't gonna never get your name right until I go to the grave. But thank you for pushing me over in that area. We met each other on his radio station one morning, and we was going at it each other about church women. So he kind of liked me, and he kind of like steered me over to O'Shea's channel. And that's how I came aware of the manosphere. I've always been a supporter of the manosphere, even though people might think I'm not. But how long I've been in it, you know what I mean? But I didn't ever have a problem with the message. I had a problem with how it was said. And after you read his book, you'll see what I'm talking about, because the way the book is written is the way I wanted the Black Manosphere to talk. I understand you have to talk to the people the way they are, and you got to take people for where they are. I understand that. But I thought if we came with them the way he wrote this book, a lot eloquent, people would have took us a lot serious, a lot more serious. I just really believe that that's what it is. It's the file behind the message. if you say you bald-head motherfucker, you should be doing this versus say, hey, brother, you could do a lot better in your life if you look at it this way right there. I thought that was the two difference between the message that I was trying to get out, because I always believe, I'm a believer, say it's up to us. We can talk about women all day long, but it's still, in the end of the day, it's up to us. We are the person who's going to pick our own self-determination. If we wait for women to jump on board, we're going to be in trouble. So that's been my message.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jay. I really appreciate it. That's the reason why I wrote books and I write books, is because I want to be able to take things a step further than what we do online. What I see what we're doing online is entertaining, guys, and also sprinkling in some information and education. But the real work needs to happen in the books and in real time, and that's what the conclave is all about. And you go to the Black Manosphere Conclave, like I said, we talk very little about women. Women aren't permitted to attend the proceedings during daytime. I mean, they can come and join us after we're done for the day, but you know, no women are allowed in the actual proceedings. That gives Black men, you know, multiple freedom to be able to say what we want to say. And what goes on in conclave stays in conclave. So, you know, brothers can be assured that we can speak freely and in confidence. You know, a lot of Black men don't like talking about their personal issues in public. They don't like doing that. Black women do. They ain't got no problem with it. The Black men, they don't like doing that. They like talking about these things in private. So that's one of the main things that's one of the big selling points of the Black Manosphere Conclave.
Thank you for that. And my brother, for the last 3 years, I do this thing with Captain Hughes where I try to let the older generation know what the younger generation do, because they understand there's a separation in mindset. They understand that. And I'm kind of like the Miller person who goes over to Captain Hughes about once or twice a month. And I deal with a brother called Carl Nelson. He was the one who interviewed Nelson Mandela when he was in jail. Matter of fact, he was the only one who interviewed him. He won a Peabody Award for that. I want to leave my number in the back, and I want you to help you promote your conquest is coming up in Miami.
Conclave, yeah, coming up in Miami, yeah, September 7th, September 5th through the 7th, 2025. Matter of fact, you can go right to the. You can contact me through the website blackmanosphere.com.
Right, but I'm gonna leave my number in the back, and you know, I'm a public person in first place, so I'm gonna leave my number in the back. And what I want you to do is, he's probably gonna ask you to come on and explain to young Black men what y'all are doing and stuff like that. He's not one of these haters. He go ask you tough questions, but he's doing it not facetiously. He's doing it so the older generation could understand. He has interviewed anybody who's been somebody from presidents and everybody else. So he's not a peon interviewer. So I would even give people, that's an old word, ain't it? Mr. Fantastic. That peon word got you, throw you for a flip, right? Throwback. But anyway, so he's about business. And I think it would help you. Cathy Hughes is one of the biggest Black medias in North America, South America, and stuff. And I would like for people in this business, especially the Black Manosphere, to get into doing secondary radio and get into talking to people. And I know secondary radio is down, but there's still people who communicate that way and listen to knowledge that way. And so I like for the brothers who are still pushing and trying to get this thing to be a normal. It should be normal. Black Manosphere shouldn't be other than I'm a Black man in America who's trying to be the best person I could be. You know what I mean? And make it normal, because the tag and hashtag with it now, you got so many negative things go along with it because they don't understand us, because we don't communicate outside of this right here, or a city of writing a book or something like that. We need to get more, and I heard you say this, we need to get more mainstream and touch bases with mainstream media. I mean, the internet is all right, but there's still a certain a sector of this North America that people don't believe it, if it comes off the internet, but they believe it more if it come off the news or it comes off radio or something like that. So I think we should get more involved in stuff like that. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Definitely.
Yes, sir. All right. I ain't gonna take up too much of all the time. Good to see you. You know me, Mr. Fantastic. We met. He thought he was taller than me, but I was much taller than him. So when we met, now he's a big brother. He's tall, but I am 6'4". So, but he was a good brother. We met each other when he came by here. I hope you're coming out here sometime soon. Again, Mr. Fantastic, I got some stuff for you.
Okay,
I got some
a little minute, but I got other places before I repeat back.
Yeah, I got some hoodies and stuff that I want to give away, where you can give away and stuff like that. I offer this to a lot of brothers and sisters, because my son run a hoodie thing, and he print stuff. So I have a lot of free stuff I can give just to give it away. I don't try to sell it. I give it to people in my house, but I got boxes and boxes of that stuff. So anyway. Peace, love, and always try to strive for the truth. Good to see you, old man. I'm going to leave my number in the back and let one of these young cats get up here and do their thing. Look
forward to it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Obsidian, like I said, man, it's weird, right? Whenever we do these things and it's like, not 1 on 30. It's not many, and I'm pretty sure people are going to review this and, say how it was this and it was that and all this bullshit, but they got the opportunity to talk in real time and no takers.
Well, I mean, let's just get right to it. So, the big thing for years, because I never went on camera, and so that was a real big thing. For some reason, I don't know why, but black folks, they need to see you and they need to see you moving, jazz hands and all that sort of thing. And then they believe you. And and the other thing too is this a roadcaster. I don't know what it is. It's something about. I'm thinking it's the lights. I think that's what does it. It's the lights. It's having it. It's the lights. And all that, sitting, having a big TV back there. I got sharks, swimming in the background. See, all that sort of thing, that means that you're official. That means you're real. So now I'm on camera. Okay, I'm looking right into the camera. Yes, this is me, Obsidian Ali. I'm real. I'm here in Philadelphia. I'm doing this from my living room. Okay, this is my office. I do my show on Rumble. I call it After Office Hours in the evening. I won't be going live on there tonight because I'm here with Mr. Fantastic. But typically, I'm on the evenings over on Rumble, and this is what we do here. We talk about a book of the evening, and we talk about the various issues of the day and all that sort of thing. So I think that's really what it was, is that, we could talk crap about him because, he looks like this and he got a white woman and that sort of thing. So now that they see me, for real, everything kind of gets quiet down now. So,
yeah, that's always the thing, because apparently at some point in time I was a fat 5'2" guy, that had a neck beard, and I had to put my head on somebody else's body, is what they told me. Yeah, so yeah, man, I definitely know how that go. Definitely know how that
people got wild imaginations, man.
Crazy, man. Like people really want to know, and be able to assess your life by just seeing you, like, say, on camera. It's crazy.
It is. And I tell you, I mean, that roadcaster, them guys, oh yeah, man, he's got a roadcaster too, man. He I'm like, I don't know. It's weird stuff.
But yeah, man. Philly. So yeah, Philly. What's going on? Well, how's everything in Philly nowadays? Everything's cool?
Well, I mean, at least as far as I know, there are no protests with ICE or anything like that here yet. Not yet, but they're moving, east. It started in California, and now last time I checked, there was stuff going on in Chicago. So that's the middle of the country. So it could move east before long. So
yeah, they're in Atlanta now.
It's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that's not that far away from us. So yeah. That's only a commuter flight away from me. And I can hop on a flight at Philadelphia International, touchdown at Hartford Jackson in about 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours from Philly to Atlanta. Everything in Atlanta go everywhere directly. But yeah, man. Like I said, it's just wild. And like I said, definitely wanted to give you your flowers or whatnot for again, this thing that everybody seems to hate, but at the same time, everybody eats off of. Like you said, when they start talking about the number of people, like it's FD Signifier individual. I think I ran into him one time over on Bernard Riley's. I think that's my only ever.
Yeah, I heard about that. I
Yeah,
wasn't there, but I heard about it.
Yeah, like I said, that's my only time ever talking to him. But I just get to the point of where, you know, somebody comes up, I say what I gotta say, and I just move on. I think I saw you on Rumble talking about the Deontay Kyle guy, you know, that guy,
Yeah,
the Christian X guy. Those individuals, it's just like, hey, Princella, you a Prince fella, you covered those things. And it's just crazy as we can literally look at it and either see them steal the stuff that we talked about. You know, now Prince fella done turn from, you know, men, they just gonna take everything. They're gonna take all the women soon as the motherfucking lights go out to, you know, the women are the problem and you know, men are incapable of and all this stuff. So again, we've seen
she ran into some trouble for essaying a woman. You know that, right?
Yeah, I think I covered that. I think I did, but I didn't hear anything else about it.
I want to say it would have been in last year.
Either late last year or early this year. But yeah, I definitely remember covered it because I saw the woman that was making the accusation, and then it got the girl that she used to deal with on YouTube was into it and stuff like that too. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But you know, hey, everybody says, you know, the Black Manosphere has all these bad actors and these criminals and all these different things, and you know, the people that really are doing the things are the main ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So I just smile when I see people that, you know, originally took issue with us wind up, you know, aping us. So
indeed, man. Indeed. So hey, Maz, if you can't, you already have put throw Obsidian's Rumble channel in the chat, please. You got any other social media you want to share? Any other social media?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook under my name, Mumia Ali. You can find me on Instagram, Mumia Obsidian Ali. You can find me on Twitter, Obsidian Files, FILES. And
I think I'm following you on Twitter. If not, I'll definitely give you a follow. I think I am following you on Twitter. I think so. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I appreciate your time, man. Nobody wanted to come through.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hey. Let me write down Jay's number here before I roll out. Hold on a second.
For sure. Oh, hold on. Oh, wow. Well, hold on. Hold the clock.
My two favorite people on YouTube or YouTube and Rumble.
Damn, man. I'm doing just great, man. How about you?
I'm good. I heard some quotes about some things I've said to you all that you all have repeated back. So wanted to try to address it since it seems like you all take umbrage with things that I say. No, so the thing about the nefarious actors, right? Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. You're not the only one that said it, but you're just the last person to say it. But go right ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just think that's. I mean, I don't see how that's deniable. That the Black Manosphere. So your argument was that I was unaccepted by a group of Black Manosphere guys, and I had responded to you with that. Would say, well, who am I not being accepted by? And people who have been SA people, all types of nefarious backgrounds, and I just don't think it's an argument there. Honestly,
hold on. So that's what I'm saying. But what percentage of those people are SAers in the Manosphere though, in the Black Manosphere? What percentage?
Some of the leaders. So I don't think it's a large percentage, but I think there are some of the leaders.
The leaders, I don't know of any leader in the Black Manosphere that's been convicted of. Huh?
Tito. He's not one of the people.
He's not a leader of the Black Manosphere, to my knowledge.
Early on, he was one of the loudest and most forward voices in the space.
My understanding was, hold up. So you just said it, right? So my understanding was there was a gap there because he was you know what I mean, whatever he was, then he got in trouble and then he came back because of what he did, correct?
Right. So being accepted by a Tito isn't something that I'm particularly interested in. Or Sinful to P.
Sinful to P wasn't Black Manosphere either.
He was. Absolutely, he was.
Sinful to P was Black. I didn't know Sinful to P was Black Manosphere.
Absolutely, he was.
So anybody that's affiliated with or was in the chat, because my understanding, I never even heard Sinful to P say Black Manosphere on his channel.
He was definitely a part of the space. There's no question about that. I don't know who in the
no, this was just it. You said a part of the space. So just because the person's part of the space, hold on. Everybody that's in this chat is not Black Manosphere. I got what, almost 200 people or something in the chat right now, right? So are you saying all 200 of these people that are in the chat are Black Manosphere?
I didn't say that. No.
Right then. So you're literally doing what we said you were doing. So the Tito part, you actually got a thing, I guess, because at some point in time, Tito was one of the, content creators. But my understanding was, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. He did whatever he did. Okay, that happened. He left and he came back. And once he came back, my understanding was that was one of the things that people directly said, hey, man, and a lot of people wasn't comfortable with that or whatever. I drew my line in the sand with both of those individuals you said. I'm not fucking with nobody that was fucking kids. That's a reason. I gave y'all the reason why I fell out with somebody in particular. And then I'm not dealing with nobody that's got to take that's got to take sex from a woman. Mm-hmm. So that's something that me personally, I stood 10 toes on every case, and I don't give a fuck who say it because ain't nobody doing nothing about it. So my thing is, why are you using two individuals? How many content creators do you think it is out of the Black Manosphere altogether? How many Black Manosphere content creators do you think it is?
How many do I think it is? Like over the years, it's been people that's coming and gone. I mean, are you talking about current or are you talking about
in this current generation? To your knowledge, what would you say to your knowledge? How many would you say there were?
That had particular charges? I say that I could name probably 5 or 6 off the top of my head, including the people I just named.
Let's just go with that 6. So how many content creators are there total that you know of?
Oh, I don't know. It's been list. It's been not list. I don't know the total number.
I'm asking you to guesstimate how many Black Manosphere content creators there are.
I don't know, 10, 15 like regular channels. Yeah.
So you're gonna
there aren't a lot of Black men, like people have had channels and it's people have had channels and they're gone.
You're a smart guy, right? And you just said Sinful to P was a part of Black Manosphere, even though my understanding he was associated. Then you changed it.
I think so. Yeah.
With space, right? And then I asked you the question. So everybody that's in a chat room associate with the space. You skipped that question. So definitely, without a doubt, there's more Black Manosphere. There's more than 10 Black Manosphere content creators right now, bro.
Who is creating consistent content that are claiming Black Manosphere right now?
Just because you've never heard of them doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Well, my thing
I just asked the question of who. Then, like, who are the?
You want us to list them?
You want us to list them off the back? You would have to go to what's his name? Doesn't O'Shea got the list? Isn't there an official list?
O'Shea don't even claim Black Manosphere.
I won't even go off the list.
No, here's my thing. Let me just say this real quick, Callis. Let me ask you, Fantastic, because you guys have been here for a while, right? And I'm cool with this person. I have no beef with the person I'm about to mention, but I'm about to show the hypocrisy in this. Everybody here knows about Ramil, right? Ramil has a criminal record, right? Everybody and people are heard of it. I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent. We are aware of his criminal record. With that being said, that never negated Gabe going up on his streams multiple times. So I find it a bit hypocritical if you're gonna bring up Tito and say that, oh, we parade him up as though he's the leader when you've gone on Ramil's stream several times. And
how is going on somebody's stream hypocritical?
Because you're endorsing
the question is about
going on their panel.
That is not an endorsement of anybody.
If you're gonna complain about us allegedly putting up Tito as a quote unquote manosphere leader, how come you had no issue with going up on Ramil's panel?
The question and the discussion was about, hey, you've been rejected by a space of individuals. I said, I don't need to be accepted by individuals in this space because of some of the nefarious things that they've done in their past.
But, I mean,
Wait, pause. Let me finish. So me going up on a panel, having a discussion with multiple people is not me endorsing them or accepting anything they've done in their past or looking for approval from them. So I don't know why you're like, why that isn't a discussion.
Because it is.
But hold on. Let me. I want to make sure. Do you have any questions for Obsidian? Because Obsidian's here. So
I think Obsidian is. I think Obsidian is who Obsidian is, and I don't got no questions for him.
What's that mean?
He is who he is. He's a fake it till you make it. He's a fake statistics, and this is like claiming success in certain areas when those things aren't really successes. And
what fake statistics you referring to?
I mean, even about the number of these black men who have went to the conclave, who have become who have become these particular tech professionals. Like the numbers are astronomical.
I'm in Theo's class. He definitely has hundreds of people getting certified every day. I'm on the Facebook group.
So numbers of people being certified. How about the salaries? Is any of that stuff public, or is this just hearsay?
They publish their hiring emails all the time. Also,
yeah, we count hiring. That's crazy.
So
no.
But see, Gabe, you being disingenuous because you avoiding.
I'm not.
You naming people. Tito and them is adjacent to the space. You avoiding all
the
people that
He's
don't.
Just throwing shots in the dark.
You must be new.
Because
you must be new.
If you're gonna
because Tito has always been because Tito was one of the initial leaders. He was one of the loudest voices.
I'm not doubting he acknowledged. Hold on, Azrael. I'm not doubting he acknowledged the space. I'm saying you're saying we're acknowledging a SA, someone convicted of SA as a leader in the space, and that are disavowed.
He was a leader.
You were disavowed by Tito, but you're ignoring everybody else that you know doesn't fuck with you because you're a troll.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't name them up here, bro. Everybody knows. You know who don't fuck with you.
Back to my initial statement. I don't care to be accepted or acknowledged by anybody in this space.
So this is the thing, though. Hold on. I got it. So why do you always brag about the show you had with O'Shea? What was it called again?
I don't brag about it. People ask me about how I've engaged with people in the space, and I bring it up.
I don't even know the name of it. We don't even remember the name of it. That's how much no one watched it. But what's the name of it again?
Just because you don't remember doesn't mean other people don't remember. The name of it was the Hall of Game. The name of it was the Hall of
Hall of Game. Okay, great. The Hall of Game. All right. Nobody watched that shit. That's why he stopped doing it. Okay, because no one gave a fuck. No one wanted.
That's not the reason. If you see my WhatsApp chats with O'Shea, that's not the reason.
Two reasons. Nobody gave a fuck about the shit he's talking about. And then, like I said, and Gabe, we do this every time. Nobody fucking likes you, dog. You are an self-admitted troll. You're a grown ass man that's damn near 40 because you somewhere close to age or whatever, right? With a family, all this other shit, and you follow other men around fucking YouTube that don't like you. Why?
Trolling is fun.
Exactly.
You should try it.
Thank you. He said it. He said
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, what is your wife?
Because look at this. Look at you guys. Listen, it was literally a dry Sahara desert before I jumped on this panel. And look what I created. None of y'all came up on the panel. Azrael didn't come up on the panel. None of y'all came up on the panel. You and Obsidian were blabbering about the weather in Philly. Listen. This is what it is. This is what I bring. You should thank me. You should thank me.
Listen, Gabe.
You should thank me.
Hold on. You're welcome from the attention of the niggas that you claim you don't want the attention of, brother.
Right.
You're so welcome.
I just say the show.
The affiliate.
I say the show. This was about to end. You were about to end this. Listen, you were about to end this.
What are we doing?
You were about to end the stream because this is because it's boring. Until I came up here.
No one came up. Y'all talk, and to your credit, Gabe, you came up to talk shit like I said you would. Gabe, I know you like fucking the lottery, my nigga.
You didn't say I was gonna come up here. You didn't say I was gonna come up here.
I didn't have to. I said nigga, I said this.
You did not. You said I wasn't gonna come up because you said I'm scared of you.
Oh,
Isn't that what you said?
I really
one of
feel
the
sorry
two.
for his wife.
Well, listen, smart guy, that's the opposite. Smart guy, that's the opposite.
What'd I say?
That's the
What'd I
opposite.
say?
You said I
What
was
did I say?
afraid of you. You said I was afraid of you.
You were listening to me yet again in the clouds like a fucking weirdo.
What you mean? It's YouTube. YouTube is a public platform. Who is listening to you? Like,
Obsidian fed up.
Hey, since Obsidian up here though, no, shout out to you. This is a great interview.
So listen,
it was not boring. Obsidian, you an OG.
Yeah,
definitely respect you. I'm in the 4.0. I guess this would be in the newer phase of the Black Manosphere. We appreciate the foundation you laid, and we hope you come back. Honestly, and by the way, I want to extend an invitation. We finna open up a panel. I just hit a milestone on TikTok. I got like 7,000 subs on TikTok, so they allow me to do panels now. So we gonna move some panels over to TikTok and see what's to that over there. So you're more than welcome to come over there and you know, do your thing, because we know you are. We know how you coming anyway. So, but appreciate you.
Go ahead, brother. Carry that Black Manosphere flag to TikTok.
All right, right. Yeah, no.
Thank you, CC. I appreciate it. Listen, fantastic. I got to run, man. I got some other stuff I got to do. It's been really great. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate you, Obsidian.
All right, man.
Yep.
What did y'all learn from the interview?
It wasn't anything to be learned, brother. It was just an interview. It was a little bit of the history that people aren't familiar with. See, Gabe, just like you saying this, right? So, like, most people don't even know who Tito is at this point, because Tito isn't one of the premier people that people talk to or go to. So you bringing him up in itself was just a lesson to a lot of people, because, you know, everything reshuffles and you get a new batch of people, I'll say at least twice a year, right? You're the first person I even heard bring Buddy up in quite some time. I didn't know he was he's still doing content.
He does it like every other
week.
Like,
yes, I didn't even know he was still
a lot of these guys tune in,
and you
like Azrael.
You
tunes in.
You name
that's cool. Like I said, they're grown men. Whoever they choose to listen to or deal with, that's on them, right? That's their business. They're grown as men and do what they want. What I'm telling you is though it's fucked up that you try to label it this way, bro. Man, my whole thing is I understand the trolling shit, right? But even out of the trolling shit, bro, it should be some type of just dignity,
lesson,
honor in the shit, fam. For you to not falsely portray a group of black men that are trying to do something positive and make it seem like everybody is motherfucking rapists and criminals. That's crazy.
No. That's not what I said. I said I just did not care to be accepted by that group. But on some real stuff,
those would be individuals. So that's
individuals
what I'm saying.
Who have been loud voices in the group. Yeah.
Well, no, but then, like you said, he brought up the it's other people that's got criminal records that we don't know about. So you don't even know who the hell you listening to for real. What we saying?
When you say like this, so when you say like this space is super like positive, black men trying to do good things, I don't agree with that. I feel like it's a hamster wheel of content and subjects that are ineffective and in many cases don't change the realities of anybody's lives. But people are literally still talking about colorism. People are talking about baby mama drama. People are talking.
If you're right, I know what you're finna say, Gabe. But if you're right,
no, you don't know what I'm finna say because you're talking. But how you know what I'm finna say?
The question is,
how am I sassy?
The question is, if you're right about all that, what keeps you coming back?
I already told you why I'm here. I really don't take this.
Why are you coming back?
Okay, you're gonna ask me a question, but then you're gonna keep on talking. Do you want me to answer the question?
I'll go ahead.
Do you want me to answer the question, or you want to? All right, I'm gonna answer the question. I'm trying to. So I told you I don't take this stuff seriously. It's really just entertainment at this point for me. But when Fantastic says I'm not like I have a problem with something that's positive, I don't think that talking about the same subjects about black women and what black women are doing and holding black men back in society, I don't think that is a positive thing. I think it's something that holds a lot of dudes back from their purpose and moving forward when there's so many other things.
Who said black women are holding black men back from society?
That is literally one of the major conversations that occurs within the Black Manosphere.
Oh, that's honest. That's an honest assessment. That's an honest assessment, right? And I won't run for that. That's a major problem though. So let's walk this down, right? So you don't believe that at all. You don't believe that black women are holding black men back in any way, shape, form, or fashion currently?
No, I don't.
No?
I think that if a man has his mind set on a goal, I believe that he has so many different resources and capabilities to pursue that goal to that end. And I don't think it's anything a black woman can do unless a black man gives her certain amounts of power in order to get to that goal.
Well,
if he gives her power, if he turns it over to her, then yes, I do think he can be held back.
So yeah, I'm not saying from a financial or whatever aspect. We're talking about, of course, the end goal is going to be what? Families, right? More black people being made, correct? So from the lens of black men being able to find a suitable black woman to be in a relationship with, start a family, get married, raise children, from that aspect, you still don't think black women are holding black men back in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
No, because I still think there's some good black women out there. Okay, I just think that a lot of the conversations around the bad ones.
Yeah, but you said some though. So again, are there enough? Hold on. Are there enough good black women to go around for the good black men that are out here?
I'm not sure about if it's 1 for 1.
Speculate,
but
yeah, it's a yes. I'm asking you, and yes or no. I'm asking you.
I don't know. I don't just throw numbers out there to say it's one good black.
From your anecdotal experience, your everyday real life, social media, put all those things together. You're living on this planet, you being a human being, grown man, accomplished, all this shit. Okay, and what you've seen from your and where you're from, all these different things. Put all of that in a basket. Now I'm asking you to guess. This is a guess. I'm not saying you don't have to be correct or whatever. By your assumption or your assessment, by your assessment, are there enough good black women to go around for the good black men?
I would say probably no.
Okay, great. So you actually agree with the whole premise of what you said you had a problem with. So until
I don't.
I got you. We had a conversation. I'm surprised, but we're actually having a conversation. So if that's still a problem, and you, like you said, and I appreciate your honesty, if that is a problem which is going to impede the progress of black people as a whole, you don't feel like it's suitable for black men to talk about it until it's fixed?
No, because let me throw out a couple of premises here. One, I don't think that the goal should be every black man gets a good black woman, because not all black men are good black men, right?
Okay. Well, no, hold on. Well, just for context, I literally said good for good. I said enough good black men for enough good black women. So I didn't say.
Shoot, I don't even think that's an issue. All right, I don't even think that's an issue, because there are women outside of the black community that black men can go after. So I don't even think that's an issue.
Hold on, now I agree, but now hold on. So if we don't address the black women, so now
dip out.
You're telling. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dip out. Just go somewhere else.
Okay.
Well, all right, cool. And that see.
Too, though. We already say that.
You see where my wait, what's that?
We already say that. That's one of the talking points in the space. SYSBM. It's a talking point in the space.
But I believe that's a little.
In many cases, SYSBM is saying is focusing on all the bads of black women is the reason why they're going out. Like they don't necessarily just say, "I'm about to just dip." Oh,
passport.
Okay, go ahead.
About traveling overseas and dating, intercultural and extracultural dating. So it's already a talking. We all discuss that all the time. You know that.
So if wait. So if it's these discussions, right, about going elsewhere, whether overseas or through another culture, why is there still this emphasis on the badness of black women?
Because only 2% of black men have passports, so it's not viable to speak about it like every black man's going to hop on a plane and go to Africa.
Wait. Every black man doesn't need a passport in order to go to a different culture to find another woman. You don't need a passport to find a woman outside of the black culture.
By that logic, we do need to talk about American women then, if that's the case. If you're suggesting...
Okay, so it's not black women. Now it's American women now.
Western, it's a microcosm.
Obviously, this is a black space. We're not talking about every woman. Yeah, come on, bro. You're being disingenuous now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. In fact, asking those, I'm not. What my thing is, let me tell you what my major thing is that no matter what your circumstance and situation is, there is a solution, but the solution isn't focusing on the problem. If the problem is black women, dip out. If the problem is Western culture, dip out. as a man, you find a way. You don't focus in on what the issues are.
But that's what comes to the being unrealistic, Gabe.
Because they're not going to change.
So hold on. Now, hold on. So now we're demanding, right? Or not demanding, which is suggesting that black men do something that no other man on the fucking planet has ever done, and date out more than you date in or marry in, right? You date and mate out more than in. And then on top of that, what was the other suggestion you made? Just basically that's what it is. Just find a different culture. So Hispanic women, white women, would be, women from the continent, Africa, so on and so forth, Asian women, everything but black women. But what do we know, Gabe, from history and anthropology? People are going to stay within their group the most. So when you say the suggestion that, just date out, okay, that's going to help maybe at most, let's say 25% of the men. What about the other 75%? What is your suggestion for them?
That's not my concern. My concern are my goals. My concern is my goals, and every man should be first concerned with what he desires and find a way to his goals. I don't think it's the burden of the Black Manosphere to figure out how every single individual man needs to tailor his goals to where he desires to go. It's not a one size fits all.
No, I agree. Well, I agree with that too. I'm not trying to figure out every problem for every man. That's literally impossible.
So then why do you say the majority then? Like the majority of black men need to do blank. Like that shouldn't even be a part of the conversation, right?
I said every. My problem is this though. The reason why you have to address the problem and find out ways to fix the problem, because first and foremost, people have to acknowledge there's a problem. The majority of black men or black women doesn't acknowledge that black women are the problem, or they have a problem, right? That's affecting the group as a whole. So you particularly brought up the biggest issue and problem is you don't give a fuck about nobody but Gabe, and that's your right. That's cool, right? Some of us, on the other hand, though, have to worry about it and consider it, because it's not only just me. Okay, I got sons, right? And I said this since day one. I have sons that this shit needs to be fixed for, so I don't have to worry about my grandkids being to some motherfucking hateful, spiteful, misandrous bitch.
Right?
You feel me? That he actually has a chance of picking from a pool of women that actually value and give a fuck about black men.
Right.
But that's that exposure that you put your sons, that sphere of influence. That's on you too, as a man. Like who you introduce, the environments who you put your sons in front of, the environment that you bring him around, the opposite sex of his peers that he's around. That's on you. That's not on social media, because social media is going to social media.
So you don't think
so the schools,
just real quick. So how is it on me? Because again, we know this all the time, right? You got people that grow up from crackhead parents and they end up being fucking CEOs. Yes. You grow up with fucking perfect parents, they end up being hardcore criminals, right? So no matter what I teach my sons, okay, I can teach them all day. A pretty bitch with some big titties and a fat ass come around, more likely than not, he gonna fold, right? All right. The problem is, before, when she had the pretty face, big titties, and fat ass, she's at least a decent woman. She at least had some femininity about it. She at least gave a fuck about the man. She wasn't just looking at the nigga as a dick and a trick. You feel me? So that's the issue and the problem. As to where I'm never going to be able to control who and what my son's love interests are. That never works that way. I'm pretty sure that your mother or father pick your wife for you. And I'm not asking that in a shitty way. I'm not.
No, I know. I think it's about. I don't think it's about controlling your sons, but I do think it's about what you expose your sons to and the lessons that penetrate his mind and goes with him throughout life. Right? He might be in situations. All of us have probably been in situations where we made bad decisions with women, but it's like the teaching and the tutelage that the fathers and the mothers give to the children is, I think, those guiding principles. So yes.
Let me ask you this: you don't believe in the concept of community? Because that's what it sounds like. You speaking from an individualistic, everybody, Darwinism, everybody figure it out on their own. So you don't believe in it?
I do think you do have to start with you. You got to get your own house in order before you.
But do you believe in the concept of community? That's the question.
Yes, I do believe in the concept.
So that contradicts the statement that you don't give a fuck about other black men. Then. Do you regard yourself as a black man, part of the?
No. I don't. I am a black man. I do regard myself as a black man, but I don't shoulder the burden of relationship choices for the entirety of black men.
That wasn't the question. You regard yourself as a part of a community, but you don't give a fuck about the outcomes of your counterparts in that community. That's what you're saying.
The community is not homogenous. There are communities within the black community. Also, like I don't consider myself.
No one made that point.
Though. Okay, well this make more sense then, because you're not FB. You're not what people regard as FBA.
Oh, here we go.
You're a different. Here we go. You're a sub community.
I am African American. Grew up in Detroit. My father's from Nigeria. My mother's from America. I am African American.
Your father's not from Nigeria. Okay, so that makes sense. You don't give a fuck about the outcomes of America.
Here we go.
No. Even if we eliminate that, no one said that we're an ivory tower. We're a monolith. No, I mean this is proof here. I mean, you say with my issues that you kind of contradicted. You said, why, you said you don't care about the outcomes, but then you asked why is it that this is here? Like why is it created? It was you kind of contradicting yourself.
What? Well, no, I'm not saying. No. I say I don't think that the Black Manosphere needs to bear the burden of relation, or any black man should bear the burden of the relationship.
That sounds like somebody that has some kind of consideration. Or
that sounds like somebody part of a separate community that doesn't give a fuck about the community that we're referring to.
That's like
just that everybody else is.
That's like if I'm a. Hold on, let me say it.
Does he care about black men's dating? Does he want to shoulder the burden of black men's dating dynamics?
I don't think that should be on any black man.
No, if I ask a white man,
like why should Azrael's dating decisions or dating choices be shouldered by Fantastic and his platform?
Who said it was though?
No, Azrael. How community works is what Fantastic just illustrated. It is my concern of what pull future. It's called thinking ahead. Is what men do. We plan ahead. We don't think we think past our nose. We don't just think about us in this generation. Community thinking in terms of the future, we do care about the next niggas' sons and kids and the quality of those people. I want Fantastic sons to be educated well. So my son, when he competes against Fantastic son, he's actually competing against somebody who's skilled and he gets better. It is in my interest. I do care about your marriage dynamic, the dating dynamic, relationship dynamics. I do care about it in terms of my community because it's the fabric and function of the structure of my community.
So let's talk about how this play. I'm really not Nigerian. I'm African American.
I just want to say this one thing, and all right. So it's funny that you mentioned it. I had a conversation before you passed, right? ARC, and he also say, why do you guys care so much about who these women get with? They get with they get with it, it's whatever. And I said to him, at one point in time, you're gonna become, when he was alive, right? Saying you're gonna get into old age, right? You heaven forbid that you have to bolt your door down because the neighborhood is filled with fatherless children that are just running amok, and you got to carry a gun everywhere with you. Your wife in old age can't go to the store because she might get robbed, right?
You really think that's the direction that this is going?
Yes, because let me even before that, if you understand social engineering and mate selection, you could prevent a lot of things. I mean, even if you've heard of the concept of epigenetics, right? Where women are, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of that, but what I'm saying is if you understand, I consider the Manosphere more of a think tank in that you provide alternatives, right, to steer away current things. You've heard of the Hoover Institute, right? When you understand the concepts of why certain things happen the way that it goes, why things happen and play out the way that it is. For example, if you allow your woman to just run amok and not have any kind of accountability and be sexually irresponsible, then you have a bunch of kids that are just fatherless and it becomes a Lord of the Flies nigga edition, right? And then
I think it's so much.
What's going to happen is people like you, Gabe, you're not going to want to be in the black neighborhood. You're going to more than likely be in a suburb. I'm speaking hypothetically. Don't think I'm with you, but
So
hypothetically,
this is the real me.
you're
I'm
gonna be
not
in
about
a
to be trolling or
situation.
nothing.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. You're gonna be
I'm
in a
not taking
situation.
nothing as offensive.
Yeah, well, you're gonna
Just
be in a
want to let you know that.
situation where you're like, damn, I can't be around these niggas, right? I mean, look at the neighborhood. I can't. You look at. I live in New York. A lot of the McDonald's, they're not even allowing kids. If you're under 18, you can't go there without an adult, right? It was never like that when I grew up. It was bad, but it wasn't this bad, and it's getting worse. So you're having multiple generations of fatherless children, and I'm sure you're aware of the 2053 stat, right? Are you aware of that? So I mean, this is more. You got to think of the manosphere. Yeah, think of the manosphere more. A lot of things, you know, Claude Anderson talks about wealth is being classified, but behaviors and thinking patterns are being calcified as well.
But I do want to ask this question because Compassionate Cal, Africa CC, he had mentioned about that strategy and looking forward, what men do.
Right.
The thing about it is that is this the way? Is the way the messaging coming from the Black Manosphere?
Yeah.
Is that in any way changing anything by putting out how so?
Short answer, yes, absolutely. It's very much so. I mean,
okay, so putting out TikTok videos of Edward Anderson ranting about Black women is in some way changing what?
It's counter propaganda.
Because that's what you do.
Yes.
You put out TikTok videos of Edward Anderson raving about Black women.
Not just Edward Anderson. I put out TikTok videos about all the premier thinkers in the space. Yeah. I mean, it's.
But I'm saying, like, what is up? Come on.
I mean, ultimately, you just said it. Messaging Black women. Essentially, your problem is we talk about we go as far as maybe framing Black women's behavior as negative. You don't, that bugs you a little bit. And this is just a long-winded way around.
It doesn't bug me. I'm like, what change is it really having? Because it's not changing Black women, right? It's not changing.
The space isn't designed to change Black women. It's meant to inform Black men. So that's why this space is full of Black men. It's not, women aren't really in this space.
So you think that Black men's mentalities are changing as in regards to Black women based upon a rant by Edward Anderson?
We're not taking credit for the change. I mean, the environment is changing Black men's behavior.
I would say this.
That's what's changing it. We're just reporting on it and describing it and giving it language so other Black men that listen can understand what's happening in their environment. That's merely all.
Edward Anderson's voice.
I'll say this, Gabe. I'll say that you're. I believe in a way you might not see seeing it. You underestimate the potency or the reach or the influence that the spaces bring. I mean, you have videos and clips on CNN saying that the manosphere helped Trump win the election, which I mean is kind of true.
How so? When they primarily voted, when Black men primarily voted for
the
Democratic Party.
I said the manosphere. I said the manosphere in general.
We're talking about the black manosphere though, right?
Well, I mean, there's overlap, right? There are I would say more or less in terms of the Black manosphere, there's more overlap where you will have more guys that are more Democratic than you have people that are Republican or conservative. But what I'm saying is that there is a modicum of influence. We can't underestimate the fact that
and it's a red. First of all, describe to me how do you prove Jay-Z's influence?
What do you mean?
Like you're asking us to prove how we're influencing culture, which is a very hard thing for even people we know are influential. How exact?
Well, no. Well, hold on. I could do that fairly. I could do that decently, right? So if he's questioning the impact and stuff you had, right? RIP Kevin Samuels. But again, man, like I was talking about, bro, there's so many Kevin Samuels repeats or fucking clones out here. It's crazy, right? The fact of the matter that you hear the lexicon that we created over here get used by everybody else on fucking social media, bro, it's impact. And Gabe, this is the biggest thing, the biggest issue and problem I have. Because out of anything, bro, trolling and shit, you're not no dumb guy, right? So you understand the complexities of these things that may be simple to other people. So what you understand and what you know is the feat that we're trying to take on and the burden you're saying on your shoulders, this is not something that's going to happen in a month, in a week, in a year, or even 10 years. Gabe, we're not going to live to see the most of the shit the progress and the change happen. I can tell you for sure, though, the same way you guys keep saying this, I'm seeing more and more Black men wake up on the daily. I'm seeing this shit in real time. I'm seeing black men that had an opinion on different things. Hell, you can even look at adjacent. We talking about adjacent shit, right? Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels is a great motherfucking point. Anton Daniels first came on the scene or whatever. He started doing the live stream shit, right? He had the motherfucking T-Move Rick Ross shit going on, Versace robe, shoes in the back, you know, all that shit happening, right? Popping. He was one of the main detractors and people that push back against the Black Manosphere because, oh, you guys need to get married and you need to do this and that, and family, you just irresponsible, you guys want to do all these things. And then lo and behold, now he sounds just like us.
Well, I think he saw like he's an opportunist more than he is a purist of a message and really looking to make some impact. He's just going after a bag. I really don't think he's really sincere. I think he just moves in the direction of whatever is most popular and whatever is most profitable.
But
I really don't agree.
You know, you're not really concerned with our impact, bro. That's not your problem. You're not.
No. I'm not
wasting our time here.
So
you framing
listen,
it like
I was here before though, right? I was here as things were kind of coming into fruition, like as it concerns this space, and I saw some of what it was early. I was very serious about, you know, black male media changing the image of the black man. As much as Fantastic keeps saying that nobody watched the Hall of Game, that was really a show that was dedicated towards black men in corporate America and higher education. We would speak about our experiences, and we had a topic. It was.
And let me I thought it was valuable. And because it wasn't that popular, you started to resent black men, and now you kind of hate black men.
You can guess all you want, but really, everybody just really started to get very busy. I mean, I moved from different organizations. I traveled a lot for work and in life and marriage and kids and a lot of other people. I think one dude was finishing up his PhD, another dude was opening up a business.
I understand that.
We just all got very busy is the reason why we didn't continue.
But I sense some resentment, bro, because earlier
there isn't any resentment.
You said all black men aren't good, or there isn't a lot of black men that are good.
Wait. All black men are not good.
Okay, as an absolute, I can't. Obviously, we can't say all black men, but you give me a sense that you have some resentment towards black men themselves. Not the.
Why?
Not the
I'm a black man. What do you mean? Like what? I don't know what you're searching for here.
So you don't think it's possible that this kind of resentment?
You got some resentment toward black men. You framing it as you tired.
I mean, weren't you cool with Fantastic? What happened?
I don't know.
You've got to resent.
Come on, don't worry, Gabe. This is a safe space.
Let me tell you what it is. I'm very good at trolling, and I think people take my trolling as very offensive. Like I'm too good at my job.
You said earlier
I'm entirely too good at my job.
You didn't start off as a troll. You were forced to be a troll.
I didn't.
You rubbed people the wrong way with your opinions.
No.
And you couldn't really take the rejection. So you had nothing.
Nobody
had nothing left to do but troll at that point. But you could have been an honorable man and said,
you weren't even around. Like
I don't have to be
around.
I can sense it on you, bro. I mean, you ain't the first troll nigga that's been in this space. This is the same. Villain arc y'all all have. Y'all get insulted on a panel because you was wrong about something, and then you get a vendetta that turns into this dumbass.
I want to know why.
Listen, you make me want to clock in to my because I don't know. I mean, because a lot of this stuff is not like a lot of the takes and things were not very serious. And I'm like, man, when in Rome.
Hold on. So what? So
we had a couple of debates.
Yeah. So what were the takes that? What were the takes that were just so ridiculous as to where it should have never been?
She stole my sperm. That is just crazy to me. That's crazy
to you. So now I gotta okay.
And here it is. We about to
drew the line.
I'm at the clock in. I'm at the clock in to the troll job.
That's all you got. You gotta retreat.
But this is the thing. Okay. No matter how good of a troll you think you are, you're not that good. Okay, first and foremost. Secondly. Okay,
it's effective. Now, look at all the people on the panel, man. Come on.
Let's just stay right here. Okay, so is paternity fraud a real thing?
It is, yes.
Is women getting pregnant on purpose a real thing?
It is.
Yes. Lying to men in committed relationships now, being committed relationships, being, hey, you've been in a relationship with this woman, you guys agree to be on birth control. She stopped taking the birth control without your knowledge, and she has a kid anyway. Is that a real thing?
that is a real thing and is deceptive, very deceptive.
Right.
Yes.
So how is it crazy for me to say she stole my sperm? That's what she did.
She didn't steal it. You gave it to her.
No. Listen, would I have given her my, you know what I mean? Would I have been having unprotected sex with her without the proper precautions, Gabe? No, I tell you, no. Hold on,
I don't know.
Gabe,
I don't know.
Hey, I want to ask you.
Gabe, I can tell you no. Hold on, Gabe. I can tell you no because the reason she got on it and she was on it for the long period of time she was just so we could have unprotected sex while in a committed relationship, brother.
No, fantastic. You wasted. You don't know. No. Gabe believes that men are responsible for reproduction. So you wasting your time because
That's another crazy one there. That's another crazy.
I want to ask you a question, Gabe. Do you believe? Let's say you meet a woman. I'm saying hypothetically, right? And you guys, you meet her over the house, and she's like, "Okay, you got to use a condom if we're about to have sex, right?"
Yeah.
And then you say, "Okay," but then you slip the condom off. Isn't that considered grape, right?
Oh yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
That is considered grape, right? So then
that's deceptive.
Now let's reverse engineer it because if I'm not mistaken,
I don't think the law aligns like.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But if we reverse engineer that, fantastic. If I'm not mistaken. And this has happened to people I know, and it didn't happen to me, but because I make sure, regardless, I make total precautions. You know, there are women out here, they'll tell you that they're on their pills, and then they'll use it, and then like 2 or 3 months into a relationship, they'll stop using it.
But you gotta, the thing about it is that you gotta believe it, and you gotta trust her with that.
But that's lack of consent.
In order for that to happen.
That is a form of lack of consent.
But listen to what you're saying, Gabe. Now, Gabe, like I said, again, we all like 40, damn near 40 now, right? All right, now make yourself 21, put yourself in a committed relationship where you guys are being honest and truthful with each other for a year's time, and then all of a sudden, because whatever, you don't even know what's going on in the other person's head, they do some motherfucking fucked up shit like that. That's still my fault.
I wouldn't say it's
done anything.
It's her that did it, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, and this is what I'm saying. A whole lot of these philosophies, you guys, not you guys particularly, but men, I'll just say men in general, put out here as where it's always the man's fault, right? It's your responsibility. I understand the responsibility part, but there's always a fucking cause of something, you know what I'm saying, to lead to the effect, right? So I wasn't just out here fucking hoes and just fucking anybody random. This is somebody I was in a relationship with. That's why I say it's my baby mama. We were in a committed relationship, bro. And she did what the fuck she did. You feel me? This wasn't no bitch I just met at the club and skeeted up in her and whatever.
You want to know how I believe fantastic? Because I've had situations where a few women get pissed the fact that you ain't finishing them, and they're like, "Oh, why you ain't do that yet? Oh, you think I'm dirty?" Or I mean, trust me, it happens. And you could tell a girl, you could be dating a girl, especially during the middle of COVID when the lockdown was happening. Some of these girls would get bored and they were like, "Oh, I want to have a winter baby just for the fun of it." Oh, we're locked down.
See, but the thing about it, I think that it's very risky, and I don't even think like it's the whole like you did something wrong. I think that she was deceptive in what she did.
Yeah, but I think why you can't apply that to a fantastic situation.
Listen, let me finish it. So what I'm saying is that I do think the problem is that that's a single point of failure there. It's like you don't have no backup plan for that. Like if she decided that she want a kid in that situation, then that's it. So I don't think it's necessarily like Fantastic's fault, but I do think that having that single point of failure does add risk to potentially having children.
I want to tell you something. Do you know? Speaking of which, since Compassion, he's from Chicago. He might be familiar with this. When Chief Keef came out, I was still in high school. I found out that he was 16 and a woman got pregnant by him that was in like her 30s.
I remember that too.
As soon as he hit 18, she put him on child support. That should be considered statutory rape. She's not in jail.
But and you're right. I remember that story, but I don't want to get lost in the weeds. This is my point. The original point, even bringing all this shit up about you saying you drew the line at the Black Manosphere's rhetoric. As far as because of someone claiming that a woman is capable or willing to
that's not the only thing
without consent.
That's not the only thing. It was a lot of other
you didn't that wasn't what
inconsistencies.
What inconsistency? Name the inconsistency. Because
there were other multiple inconsistencies, like
but
I don't know if you remember, like dang, like, do you want to? I see you trying to just disprove me, but I'm trying to answer your question too. So, like, I think that there was also this large political movement. I don't know if you remember when the Black Manosphere meetups started, right? Little Big Nate actually started it, but then things it was just all types of internal struggles and kerfluffles. People were going back and forth. They were supposed to be going down to Dallas to protest as Black men on their positions, and that switched completely to something else.
When was this?
This was the Black Manosphere meetup. This is the first one.
What year? Talking about the first one. That was 2021. I was there in Atlanta. That was in Atlanta.
That was one of the largest pushes of Little Big Nate. But then, like Obsidian always does.
Your issue was with that one is because they wanted conservatives there, and that's my point. Like if I say I want conservative people, if I want like-minded people of political affiliation, why have beef with it? Like you're not gonna see me arguing with a bunch of liberals or libertarian people to be like, hey, why are you not inviting conservatives? Why you can't? Why are you
but
not?
That caused a big divide. Don't you remember?
No, it was only a divide.
That needed to happen, though. That literally needed to happen. It's weird. I jump in and now
there we go. There go Hood. There go Hood.
Right. I jumped in and suddenly you're talking about politics, but no, that kind of needed to happen, bro. Because it's a third rail conversation that nobody wants to discuss, and then because the race issue is so like potent, it's a magnetic force for Black conversations and Black interests. People will get led around just by the draw of a race issue without actually dissecting it. And that literally split the Black manosphere in half when George Floyd happened.
Yes, it did. And then even on like Bernard Riley's panel, people started getting blocked. People started getting cussed out.
I was there, bro.
There was all types of division that was occurring. So
fuck George Floyd for the record. Still fuck George Floyd. Like I said before,
I'm with that too.
And that was the breakup of the whole the BGS Angry Man with the pandemic thing, and it was just all types.
Like I said, it needed to happen. It needed to happen. Lines had to be drawn because it's bigger than just some girl doesn't like you or whatever who gets women. There's a lot of deeper issues here, and so. The other issues kind of fell into the background until, politics made it real. But these things need to be talked about and hashed out. And listen, I don't even necessarily want to fight about that particular thing, but I'm just saying you guys got to be over there because we can't go forward together.
Prime example, Hood.
So this whole togetherness thing.
Look at the division. There's interdivision between what they call MAGA and then MAGA woke, right? People say you have divisions in
the woke, right?
Yeah, the woke, right? You have divisions. You have people. I forgot his name in the Daily Wire. His name escaped me right now. Shapiro, and then you're gonna have someone like Candace Owens. They're both conservative, but they definitely have. Oh, he left. They definitely have there's a dichotomy, or a split difference between their beliefs. One person believes they should put God's chosen over America, and the others believe no, they shouldn't. Right? So. I mean, that's possible. You can have not even in the Democratic Party, their biggest issue, right, is because they feel as though the fringes of their party is leading the party when it should have always been the establishment in the center right. So that's bound to happen.
I mean, it's not that. I mean, yeah, obviously division. I mean, there's sectors and different orientations within the Black manosphere. Sure, I don't even see why it feels like niggas be carrying around resentment from old beefs and shit for years into the newer phases and as we grow and scale into new shit. Because from my perspective, see, I ain't been in this space that long to have that much resentment.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory to
a bunch of backstories and villain arcs and all this weird
no lie. Do you watch anime? This is like the Manosphere is like One Piece for like 1,000 chapters.
Well, on one level it is, but then I think I focus more on the actual the independent media type side that I regard. Maybe y'all talking about like a political angle within the space, because like Dr. Tia-san, like the PhDs in the space are very political. Mr. Z, there's a lot of political angle opinion piece content creators in what I regard as the Black manosphere, and I think we passed these beefs because most of the people that tune into this shit are not aware of these old ass resentments and little petty shit that people got blocked in 2021
Yeah.
And like that shit don't nobody be knowing what y'all talking about half the
New
time.
people, but old people do. Like
Yeah, but
old
the space is about the future. I mean,
are you familiar with Bernard or no?
Yes, I'm familiar. I'm been around long enough to be familiar with a lot of these stories and tales. I'm familiar with the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0
Let me tell you
saga
something.
and all that shit.
Do you know? So I'll be 31 next month. Like Tommy's been online since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Right. So the rabbit hole goes deep. I just want
I know how before it even had a name. I know I understand this, but I'm saying looking forward. I mean, Fantastic talks about the black male renaissance. I don't think y'all recognize like there is a renaissance in independent media, and black men are at the forefront of that. We've been at the forefront of every media revolution in this country, since the beginning, and there's no difference here. So I think it's a lot bigger than like a conference that niggas disagreed on who we should invite. It's a lot bigger than old complicated ass beefs with these people that aren't even around. Bernard's show is not even on. He's stopped doing the show.
So you gotta understand there's a lot of bad blood between I guess you could say. I'll put it to you this way, and people are familiar with. Well, see, Fantastic wasn't around, but I'm definitely know Hoods was around. When Obsidian was on YouTube, he made a whole like 3-hour live stream, like basically trying to clown Gabe because Gabe didn't approach his girlfriend, and he had someone else do it. So it's like he he keep replaying it back. It was on, I forgot what's his guy name.
Obsidian will do that type of thing.
Obsidian. Obsidian.
I'm just saying it's bigger to me. Like it's definitely bigger. Like I
know, but
the political agenda. Like black men are doing shit in this space and actually penetrating popular culture.
Well,
and like at a real scale that I don't think, like, even my channel, I take clips from the space and I got 3 million views. So like, and only for a 2-year-old channel. So it's not, this shit it's not petty no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, Obsidian, a lot of motherfuckers, I mean, it's a decentralized space. This ain't Fox fucking News. We don't have a production meeting and do all this shit. Like, no, this is a bunch of individual content creators. And I mean, the people that are serious clearly stand out. I mean, it's not even about sub counts or anything, but the people that are serious make an impact. Fantastic Show is a great show that makes an impact, and he actually does substantive content. I think you can't be one-dimensional about this. Politics is obviously a big part of what we could actually work together on, but relationships are also a big part are a part of politics. I mean, like, we really
family got to be in order to have.
Yeah, I don't like the way people
that's kind of where it gets real sticky with the whole manosphere thing, and this is kind of why I started taking a particular angle of discussion when I do what I do, because I realized that for women, feminism created the term the personal is political, or however that phrase really works down. The political is personal, whatever. Like, women made it this way, and so men haven't really engaged on that level yet. Only now are men attempting to even consider engaging with it on that level. Like the manosphere itself, the black manosphere is kind of low key cracking into the political universe, and it's making the manosphere personal criticism a political reality. And this is a new thing on the front of politics and social realities and the social dynamics and all that. And so what's happening is that men are just kind of catching up to where things have always been.
Right.
And now that men are catching up, it's obviously, creating waves and people are unhappy and whatnot, but that's just the way it's got to be. And this is another thing I wanted to talk about too, real quick. There's an issue among men. I really don't think, especially like having discussions and going on panels, especially like what I call like the co-ed manosphere, which is like the latest iteration of the manosphere. Like, all the biggest channels are, a bunch of men and women talking about stuff together.
Are you talking about the black manosphere? Or you talking about the white manosphere at large?
Well, I mean, in the black manosphere, like, it's gone co-ed officially. That's kind of what I've been talking about a lot lately.
What panels are co-ed?
Risky. It might be Risky, Lapeef, Anton. They're all co-ed.
Lapeef ain't part of the black manosphere. None of those people are.
Well, the black manosphere has kind of spread out, and so I'm kind of broadening the term. So I'm not going to focus on that. Yeah, they're not black manosphere.
Well,
let
me define who, because I'm not basing this off a list. I'm defining who the black manosphere is by the people who identify themselves as part of the black manosphere. Lapeef, like Fresh and Fit, none of these people, just because they're black doesn't mean they're part of the black manosphere. I just want to make that clear what I'm referring to. People that regard themselves as part of what we call the space or the black manosphere is not the same thing as every other black relationship table 8 show. That's not.
That's fair enough, but these new channels have kind of taken the energy, and that's what I'm kind of commenting on as far as like tagging them as black manosphere. Like the black manosphere was the space to go to for these conversations, and now these conversations are being had on bigger, more widespread channels that are co-ed, like specifically co-ed.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. So Hood is 1,000% correct about that, and that's the way that it's going. You even see it's the format that's the winning format for people actually tuning in and watching. They don't just want to see niggas talk. They don't just want to see, unless the niggas are only way you're going to be a man and get a lot of support is if you just simped out. If you simped out, gimp the fuck out, and all you doing is saying niggas ain't shit and speaking to the women, then you'll have a platform, right? You get some traction. But nobody wants to hear the man by himself, because otherwise you're just complaining, you're just bitching, you're just whining. So the woman being there, you have the conflict of, the back and forth, the man's perspective, the woman's perspective, right? And people want to, and the shit's going to be about relationships anyway. So if you just have the bias, and that's what people are going to say is bias of one side, and it's this and it's never the opposite or opposing, right? That's the reason why that shit's picking up. Like I said, the white boys stole that shit like a motherfucker. Whatever is definitely, they not manosphere at all, but they took all the fucking they literally stole Fresh and Fit's whole fucking style, right?
Yeah, the whatever podcast.
Yeah, the whatever podcast.
Even Fresh and Fit is co-ed half the time too.
Well, I ain't no half the time. Fresh and Fit is 99% of the time co-ed, and I even covered that.
Right.
They didn't.
So y'all regard Fresh and Fit as part of the black manosphere?
No, they don't regard themselves as a part of the black manosphere.
No.
Oh, okay.
And again, that's when you said that, I accept your criticism in that way, but I'm not saying that they are black manosphere. I'm saying that they have taken the manosphere message and kind of broadened it to the conversations that we have in the black manosphere are now the conversations that they have on these co-ed channels, but the co-ed channels are way bigger than the black manosphere for the most part.
So that's basically, so y'all are saying basically, but that's how hegemony works. That's how influence works. We to this day, they're still taking talking points. From
1,000%. See,
current channel.
Yes, listen, no, you're 1,000%. Everybody's still in the sauce, the flavor, but they just, like I said, everything from the motherfuckers that literally dressing up just like Kevin Samuels, right, to to the conversations and shit being had now, right? So the thing is, again, as long as it's a black woman there to counter it, and then you can turn somebody into the bad guy, quote unquote, if you got this shit to say, it's cool. It's gonna flex. And then the panel shit, that's another big part of it, right? So I think not as a shot, but the Lapeef thing cooled down a substantial amount, and then Anton's just made pretty much a new Lapeef with just him and Q or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So and then like you said, when you get other content creators, I think to do Shaq starts covering and stuff like that. Now the message gets out there, and you see the actual real time conversation, just one person talking about the shit, right? Mm-hmm. So and then it's just certain things to where the women are never going to get involved because they, you know what I'm saying, it's not made for them. So the black manosphere still is not made and catered to for women. I even had this situation when I was doing the shit with Lucky, right? Niggas was just fuck a bitch and bitch, hold bitch. I'm like, God damn, my nigga. Like, damn, can she just, you know what I mean? I can't. So
it goes too far sometimes.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying, and I understand it. But like I said, niggas don't even got the respect or the fucking maturity to be like, all right, man. He's trying to just have a conversation, and it's one day out of all the fucking days he does shows where he's doing it with a female. I can respect it, and then we can have the back and forth, have the conversation. But niggas want you you know, hate bitches and fuck Keisha and all this other shit. And it's just like, damn, my nigga, shit.
Let me say that I've been lately a very sharp critic of what we're talking about right now, the co-ed manosphere, right? And the reason why is because when you actually like make an effort to appeal to the female audience, even trying to maintain a male-centered frame, you do kind of have to sort of soften the delivery in one way or another, right? And so when we're talking about these three channels right now that kind of everybody knows, which is like Lapeef, Hank and Risky, it might be Risky, so it's the Lapeef Network, it might be Risky, and then there's Anton. And when I criticize the whole thing, and especially these three channels, the one thing I do say, and somebody mentioned Anton and his whole arc earlier, and I like the Anton arc for this one reason, because out of these three, he strikes a harsher tone when it comes to the actual critique of Black female culture and behavior and whatnot. And it's significant because we've seen his arc. We've seen where he started out, where he was basically like just, you know, a regular on the Lapeef Network and like, y'all got to be softer on the women. I don't know why y'all tripping. And he's kind of grown through that. And that's the only thing that I kind of do have a critique about the co-ed manosphere, is that it makes you take a softer tone with the women because you have to appeal to the female audience, and it's hard to strike any kind of balance.
Yeah, I mean, I think we also got to be conscientious of. I think we mix together content creation and entertainment and essentially media generating, like monetizing media, with what the manosphere or Black manosphere was or started out to be or still is in a lot of ways, which is a think tank and like a social engineering apparatus that men from all over the country or world really come together and generate ideas and concepts, original ideas and concepts, and push against social norms. That's not necessarily a content strategy. What you do, like what you're seeing with Table 8 and what you're referring to is the co-ed manosphere with the people that's actually monetizing this content or taking it into an entertainment framework, is they're in a totally different, like, is you this type of material ain't gonna be monetized straightforward like we do on this panel right now, or what we do in the Black manosphere, where it started off with guys just having conversations, putting notes together, bringing research, sharing ideas. That's not a content strategy. That's like we're in the, because we were talking about relationship dynamics before it became a monetizable. Niggas was doing this shit before you can even send a super chat on YouTube, or you was even getting any AdSense. So it's now and it got mixed into content creation and entertainment, which is not the same thing as political advocacy or, you know, concept crafting.
I want to try to address something. Excuse me, sorry, CC.
No, you
Freeze on Lou. He made a comment in the chat I think is really worthy of addressing. He says your type of content is going to maturely gravitate to people that hate women. It comes with it. And I think maybe that's relatively true in terms of just the general nature of the content. But that is, I guess, the challenge, right? And so this is why, even though I do criticize what we're calling like the co-ed manosphere, I'm not really like beefing with it. I don't necessarily hate it because it's an evolution that maybe it just is what it is. It's an evolution of the thing. But that is a reality. Like, you do kind of have to get the message across in a way, or to people who don't automatically hate women or won't naturally accuse you of hating women, right? Because I don't actually, and I joke about misogyny and all that stuff, you know, respect my misogyny and all that. You know, I have fun with the terms, but it's never from a place of hating women. Like, wanting things to be better for everybody can't possibly be about hating women. And honestly, I think that's really where the manosphere comes from. We want things to be better for everybody. It's just kind of sucking for men right now at the point. And so that's what we're talking about. But it's not a hate women thing.
No.
Well, here's the thing, Hood. I want to just say this, and I agree with you. But at the same time, I'm tired of us always having to have this moral high ground where we have to be the light bearers of virtue and everything that is fair, morality, and what have you in society. We have a movement called Decenter Men. We have women as soon as women making TikToks as soon as they heard Tory Lanez getting stabbed up, them laughing, right? We go through them celebrating Kevin's death. At some point in time, you can't be saying as soon as you something that you don't agree with, oh, therefore you hate men. I mean, therefore you hate women. When if anything, we should look at how women are operating. I'm tired of this that we have to be the moral compass for everything that is good and supposedly right in the Black community. When women are just let them out, they can just do whatever they can be insensitive, they can have display antisocial behaviors. I mean, the list can go on. I mean, as soon as they heard about the 4B movement, they just jumped on it when they didn't even recognize, they weren't sophisticated enough to understand what that movement was about, and it was only like a subgroup of women, right? You got Cynthia G coming back on, but then it's like, okay, we're the evil chauvinists, we Handmaiden's Tale niggas that wanna just lock women up and make them breed them. Like, come on, like, no.
Well, that's all you can say, because they're not going to debate us. They can't refute the talking points. So that's all you can say, and that should be expected. And they ain't stop shit. Like I said, I don't even think most people even know what the fuck the Black Manosphere is. Even people listening to this conversation right now, they're not aware of. I saw somebody say the Black Manosphere is dead, or the space is dead.
If it's dead, then why are you here, nigga? People don't hang around a cemetery.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and that's the thing, man. I told you, like I said, y'all literally said this. Hood said it. The spaces birth so much shit because you have to have an antithesis to the message, right? And you've seen people now because the shit, bro. This shit is mainstream. Everybody's accepting this, bro. Even random bitches on fucking what's the name are now saying the same shit we said 3-4 years ago. Wow, now because you had a whole shift from and society is getting more comfortable with calling out women for the bullshit, men and women alike, but especially women, right? So the issue and the problem is, like I said, niggas don't want to. Niggas are so, and this is why this shit is so. It's so I can't. It's confusing. It's frustrating. It's just like a whole bunch of shit wrapped into one. It's funny, right? It's all this different shit because niggas are going against their own best interests. It's like, bro, there's no reason. We said this shit before, bro. The amount of shit and shit we say here, and the amount of life advice for free. I ain't never did no consultation, bro. I ain't never just hopped out here and be like, hey, pay me money to get advice. My nigga, I'm here at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7 every day, giving out perspective of someone who's lived life, who's been through it. And another big, I keep telling y'all this shit. Niggas is not comfortable with listening to regular niggas. Niggas don't want to listen to the most common path or the most outcome that is gonna happen. They see you as regular smuggler or some shit. Nigga, you in your mama basement, nigga. You feel me? But because I don't got a big ass chain on, because I'm not signed to a record label, because I'm not a millionaire, you know what I'm saying? Especially for our age. I think the younger kids, they got Kai and them, AMP, DEG, all that type shit. That's different. But even for them, those niggas got money. The biggest issue and problem with niggas is if you ain't got no bread, bro, if you ain't out here, the $200,000 car, a mansion, all the shit and hoes and shit popping around, you ain't got no motion, bro. Niggas not trying to listen. But hey, it's working for those that it's working for, and people are listening to it. Shout out to the people that hit me up in the background. There's some people in high places that listen to this shit, man. I'm just tell you that. There's some very influential people. But because of social acceptance, they can't, they can't publicly support, up front. Gotta respect it.
That's kind of the thing, I want to talk about that a little bit more. And it's weird for me, maybe because I do a lot of really trolly, jokey kind of content, but at the same time, I also do content where I'm like thoughtful and introspective, and I talk about issues and whatnot. And I think there is a burden that I don't listen to rap, but I got a lot of bars in my head still from growing up. And I remember Jay-Z had this one line. He said, it's the penalty of leadership, right? Because I guess I'm what niggas want to be and shit. And that kind of is the burden of the manosphere. There is a penalty of leadership. You kind of do have to, even as much as you want to have fun and go hard on certain things, there is an order that men have to kind of project, right? Because even being the manosphere, we're trying to. Somebody said, I think Ezra, you were talking about morality and maintaining the morality and all that, but if men don't set the terms for morality, then who does? You know, that it's just a burden of the male role, right? We do kind of have to set the terms for things. And what the Black manosphere represents is maybe a reordering of things, but even in that, there has to be an order. And so, like, even when I was talking about criticizing like the new co-ed manosphere, I'm at peace with it. I have my criticisms, but things have to be a certain kind of way because there has to be order to things, right? And so, like, when I give like Anton his props for how like his arc has developed over the years, it's because I appreciate the order that he's kind of runs his panel with, and I want there to be an order to how things proceed going forward. It can't just be like always wild and crazy with, you know, like Fantastic said a minute ago, you know, ask these bitches and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it sounds great. And we've been doing that for a long time. It has to be more than that. There has to be something going forward that people can look to and want to be a part of as well.
Yeah, and let me say this, and my whole thing was that I understand that this, but y'all niggas don't do that to me. So that's my thing. If it was like, yeah, fuck you, nigga, and blah, 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 I could understand it, man. And niggas was just wilding because, you know, or whatever, right? But my nigga,
hey,
like,
Fantastic, you can't hate women if you're trying to get to the bottom, right?
well, I definitely don't hate women, but you know, my thing is just that, and it's just like, bro, y'all gotta understand once this shit, the ultimate point of this is fixing, you know what I'm saying? Of course, not the hoes, not the women right now or whatever, but fixing the whole situation as to where black men and black women can have honest conversations. So if you're gonna grow to that point, it takes a little bit of maturity to understand that shit and be like, if a bitch being a bitch, cool, fine, call her a bitch. But every woman that pop up, bro, you can't just bitch hoe her to death, nigga. Stone her with the bitches and hoes. That was you, y'all niggas do. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So and then look at it though. Look at how Lapeef grew. Look at how Anton's growing. Look at how Hamp's growing. Right. So you're literally going contrary to progress. And hell, whatever podcast, like I said, whatever podcast came out of nowhere. Same shit. You got these ditzy ass broads that's up there. Shout out to Illa, man. Shout out to Illosophical, man. You know what I mean? You know, brother, that Space Adjacent that got on that show did marvelous, did fucking fantastic, right? So it's stuff like that, man. I just think it's plenty of opportunities to where we get overlooked by shit because you do gotta just like at least that. If we gonna talk our shit one-on-one, cool, fine, right? But if you just on a bitch back anytime a woman show up, bro, it's wild and crazy. And shout out to y'all. Y'all didn't do that to Tyranny. Tyranny came up and niggas complained after the fact, but during the conversation, we had a good conversation. And what come to find out, bro, shout out to Zero. I don't know where that nigga at, wherever he at, shout out to him. Bro, you literally need the women to do this shit to confirm that you just not some incel ass nigga talking shit that hates women, because you let them talk long enough, they'll literally prove to everything you said. When Tyranny came up and said all the shit she said, what a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, I didn't know none of this shit about Tyranny because, you know, I don't keep up with people like that. And Tyranny confirmed so many of the topics and shit that we talk about in real time. So that's what I'm saying, man. You know, if it comes to that point to where we can have a conversation, and as long as she not being a, you know, spiteful, unbearable bitch, just, hey, man, if you disagree, say what you got to say. And then another thing too, man, hey, yeah, listen, bro, I appreciate everything y'all doing, but again, just share. If y'all, bro, share this shit. You got to play the YouTube game if you go do YouTube. Liking it, sharing it. We got to beg motherfuckers to like. Y'all niggas give $1,000 in a fucking super chat and one motherfucking like the goddamn video. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sorry. I wanted to speak to one particular issue while we're still talking about this co-ed manosphere thing. I think years ago, there was a big debate in the Black manosphere about even having women around in the conversations. Because remember, the technology kind of shifted so we can have like panels and stuff. Because at first it was just like straight up videos, just edited videos. Then we had like the Google chats or whatever. Now we got the StreamYards. Like the panels developed over time. And the conversation developed over time. And so people were like, why are all these women here now, right? What I think now needs to be the energy going forward is black men need to be seen holding court, holding the floor with black women, and controlling the order, because that's kind of the thing that's missing from the social order of Black America. Black men aren't really seen controlling the order of things, and so the Black Manosphere co-ed era is an opportunity for that sort of thing to be seen widespread now, so we can have the kind of conversations that were being had all along, and women can be a part of it, but it has to be controlled in a way that, like Fantastic was just saying, when we have unruly women, you can't just let women go wild talking crazy against men without men having a chance to, you know, speak for themselves. This is why certain characters, I'm not going to speak to names right now, this is why certain characters that pop up get a lot of hate from the men of the manosphere, because they see how you run your panelists, like, so you're just going to let the women run crazy and then always try to keep a boot on the man's neck. Like, what's the point of having men in charge if the women are just going to run crazy? Men need to be in charge for the sake of order and what's best for everybody, and that means men being respected just as much as women.
Well, I think we got to do one thing at a time too. I think we assume black men we have to take our time in terms of integrating women into these conversations, because I think women have been influencing black men's discourse and conversations and ideas for far too fucking long. And the Black Manosphere is really a place where, at least in this modern iteration, a lot of women aren't involved in the conversation in the spaces that I'm in terms of the Black Manosphere. But I think we got to get order and procedure amongst ourselves first, that then we can expect to, when we get on panels or expand into this media infrastructure, and different people, different black men are leading panels that are co-ed or having conversations or podcasts with women, they are properly oriented by other men, because that's the problem. The FD signifier, the guy, the opposition to these type of conversation, to this space, are woman-led men, essentially.
Yeah, can y'all feel me? What the hell did this nigga say? What did he do? Shout out to Ed. I saw Ed talking about him. Obsidian brought the nigga up 1,000 times. What the fuck did he say?
He just dropped this video like 2 days ago, bro. I reviewed the video. Him, the grits nigga went viral recently. I know you know about the grits and eggs nigga. Fantastic.
Yeah, the grits nigga.
And then you know, it's the consciously nigga. I did a video about all of them together the other day, but FD Signifier just dropped the video about the Manosphere. He got a big ass channel. He ain't going nowhere. He just realized, he just remembered how big the Manosphere was. He came back to us.
Conscious
Lee nigga. Oh, that nigga going.
Conscious Lee is
he ain't going nowhere. Signifier is the big dog in that group.
Yeah, they intersectional feminists. They've been around. They've been on panels in the space. We've already had. He's admitted that he will not debate, or he's avoiding this space because they can't refute. Basically, we're the only people that's capable of refuting the bullshit they talk, and they know that.
Right.
So they
the few times he's shown face, it was a bad look for him. So like he can't keep doing that.
His last video, more or less, the theme of it was that the Black Manosphere is becoming adjacent with the racist alt-right, right?
But see, that's why I corrected y'all. I just wanted clarity on how y'all was framing, because he does it craftily. The way he frames Black Manosphere is this fresh and fit. There's basically any podcaster that's black, he says Black Manosphere. He does not refer to actual Black Manosphere content creators, because he's already
very disingenuous.
Got a video called "Beyonce Is Everything." What the fuck?
No, he did what he blew. He super blew up because his.
You remember when he was on Bernard's show, right?
No, his critique of
Kendrick. Look, he got a backup channel. He got like a second channel. You're looking at his main channel right now. I know exactly why you're seeing that Beyonce thing, because that's like on his main channel.
Yeah,
he got another channel that's where the Manosphere video is. It's like on one of his other channels. But speaking of the white national thing, because that's literally what the angle toward my commentary was the other day, and I think this is an issue that the Black Manosphere needs to kind of like at least talk about amongst ourselves going forward. The issue of being charged with like white national, you want what the white man wants, effectively, is the criticism.
I got the Manosphere is evolving. I'm looking at it right now.
There it is. So I think that's a conversation that needs to be worked out. Like, you want what the white man wants. And here's the problem with that type of criticism. The very women who accuse black men of not conquering the world, not controlling the systems of things, the way they accuse like white supremacy is a system of things, and they want black men to overthrow white supremacy and all that. You are tasking black men to have the very dominance and the very control that you criticize white men for. You say they're the bad guys for doing that. You want us to tear that down and then either give the power to you, which is weird, or we should have the power for ourselves. And if we have the power for ourselves, now we're the bad guys, right? So you're setting us for a mission where either we lose or we're the bad guys.
No. What he means, he's an intersectional feminist. Intersectional feminism posits that black men put black women at the bottom, at the intersection of race, class, and gender, because we're imitating white patriarchal dominance. That's what he means by we want to be white people. But I'm
examining that idea to its conclusion. That's exactly the problem, though. By accusing me of wanting to be like white people, but blaming me for not doing what the white man has done, you're putting me in a trick bag.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we talking about FD, because FD's he got like a double master's. He's on more of the academic bread tube type side, which is more of the college. That's where Conscious Lee and all them come out of. These are trained intersectional feminists.
If you want me to be the sort of man who can overthrow the white system, then respect my misogyny, because that's what it takes.
Well, he was saying
that's his problem. That's literally the concept those kinds of people can't accept.
No,
you want me to be the man that can war with this thing, but the man that can war with this thing ain't gonna let no woman tell me how to live.
An intersectional feminist wouldn't say you would need to contest white supremacy by being like white men. They would say you need to give power, and empower women would be the solution to overthrowing.
And that's why you niggas ain't in charge, because you think empowering women can defeat the nation, the world of men, right? That's literally the problem.
Yes. He has literally said that. He said it on Bernard's show. He said he believes that black men should just allow black women to lead and just become feminists.
That's the intersectional. If you understand that the frame of thinking, I mean, it's very straightforward. I mean, that's what they were trained to believe, and that's what intersectional feminism
and see, my problem with that whole line of thinking is, if I kill the king, I'm the king now. I don't know what else you guys think it is, but if you want me to go kill the king, if I kill the king, I'm the king now. And here's the thing: if you want me to be the guy to go kill the king, you got to respect me on the way up. You can't be treating me like a punk ass nigga and then think I'm gonna be the guy that go kills the king.
But I mean, you're missing the point. They're not asking you to kill the king. They're asking you to support black women in going to kill the king.
They want me to kill the king. No matter how you slice it, that's what they want. And if you want me to kill the king, I become the king. And either way, if that's the job for me, you got to respect me on the way up. No matter how you slice it,
imitating white men.
Can't comprehend that little simple issue.
You imitating patriarchal dominance of the servant. That's what
because you want patriarchal dominance from me, though. You see the problem?
No, they don't. Feminism don't. They want to disempower you and empower themselves.
See, this is where you're slightly off with that, CC. I'm being respectful when I say, because you know what Miss Z always says. Black women want they want patriarchy under feminist specifications,
which is not the same as wanting patriarchy.
No, I'm saying they want the positives and the goodies, the rewards that
and retain the control. So they want the men to provide, protect, and all this other shit, and all the traits
of white womanhood.
Patriarchy.
They want matriarchy.
Right? But they want exactly. They want the women to have the control and the women to be able to choose the men that they want to be able to get it from. Right?
They want you to create Wakanda and give them the keys afterwards.
Well, no, not even that. So it's not give them the keys. It's they have complete and total control as to who gets in and who gets left out. So I think the part that gets left out of this, when we talk about black women, are extremely exclusionary, bro. exclusionary as shit, right? With each other, but especially even more so with the men. So what's happening is that once more men get woke up to the bullshit, and you're no longer, again, I always use the beehive analogy for a reason, right? The male drone, you only got two fucking purposes: fuck the fucking queen to have more babies, and provide food for the what's name and build shit, right? That's your job as the fucking man. Anything outside of that, if you do anything outside of that, the fucking hive will literally motherfucking like kill you, right?
Yeah.
So understanding this very, very fucked up situation that the men are in. This is why, as a man, bro, the first thing is to remove as many men from the hive as you possibly can, right? Remove as many motherfucking men out of the ideology of women worship and this male feminist bullshit. Bro, I went to war on Twitter for like 4 days over calling that nigga, the grits and edge nigga, a male fucking feminist. And people, and I know a lot of it was bots because a lot of the fucking comments were still the same thing. But there are literally bots out here, bro, that if you have an anti-feminist message to where you're gonna get, shit's gonna pick up and everybody's gonna be going at your neck. You feel me? So yeah.
Well, a lot of these niggas is bots too, fantastic. And what I mean is that they just literally haven't really thought it through, or they're incapable of really thinking it through. Like, because I try to get on panels and talk to people sometimes, and especially you have these interactions with random people where they just hate the very idea. Like, and shout out to Sexy Red. I see Red in the chat down there. I know you mad at me right now. But I was on Red's channel the other day, and I had this conversation with a dude who like literally was saying like black men really don't have no they don't have no like no authority, no ability to talk about black women because we at the bottom of like the list. We at the bottom of all the other races or whatever. And this isn't just him. This is a common feeling among black men. Like a man said this. Yeah, one of her listeners or whatever, right?
That's what I be saying. Like, bro, listen, like, you want to get some pussy, niggas, bro. I hate you, niggas. I wish every last one of you.
God, I hate you, niggas.
Simp for the fucking internet to get some pussy ass niggas. She's never gonna fuck you, bro. All right. And a black man saying that, bro, nigga, have you seen fucking Pedro and Juan, nigga? Pedro and Juan scared for their life right now, whether they legal or illegal. No motherfuckers can't even move around outside.
Niggas begging us to help right now, and you up here, the black man can't say nothing. Bro, how we can't say nothing, bro? Chill.
We just talked about this shit the other day, bro. Native Americans are holding on by a thread. No motherfuckers almost extinct. They deleting themselves at the highest rate. They make the least amount of money. They had the biggest fucking concentration of addicts. Like, bro, come on, dog. You gotta stop the bullshit, man. We gotta and start pushing back on shit like that when dumb niggas say shit like that.
And that's why this special. Yeah, my fault. Go ahead.
All right, cool, you cool. Shout out to God Hand Apostle Time and Creation for the fire, brother. Everybody on this panel has reached success, biological, imperative, family, career, and skills. Come on, man. Bro, I don't know what the hell you did to this nigga, Azrael. Y'all need to set up a boxing match.
It's one of my little bastard children. I ain't clean.
Shout out to Joyce's Blade for the 10. Appreciate you, brother. Miss Fantastic, you said Black Manosphere started in the 60s before the White Manosphere. Can you elaborate real quick, please? Yeah, give me a second. Let me read, and shout out to my man. Oh shit, who was you, brother, on that thing? Hit me on the cash app, brother. I greatly appreciate you. Give me a second. My bad. Shout out to motherfucker. What are we doing? Stack of Star, greatly appreciate you, brother. He said 20 ball for the fire stream.
I just want to say to Apostle Hand to Sunday is Father's Day. Where my present, nigga? All right, you can go back to what you're saying. Fantastic.
Hey, shout out to Frame Runner 743 for the fire. Appreciate you. People like FD Signifier and Black Men wants black men to sign a 360 deal or worse. Yeah, it's definitely worse, bro. Not even a 360 deal. Well,
that's hilarious.
So to Joyce's Blade, to your question, bro. You guys remember we always refer to the experiment they did in the 80s, the Vanishing Black Family, I think is the name of it. The Vanishing Black Family, and then they had the ones it's actually on Twitter right now. It was on probably about a week ago, to where black men were having these conversations and they recorded them and were asking the opinion of black men in their relationship to black women back in the 70s. So I didn't say 60s, brother, but definitely the 70s, right? So this has been documented and these conversations have been going on well long before this. It's just the fact of the matter that, again, between that time and now, it just disappeared where they start giving a fuck about black men's opinions, even on an individual basis. They James Earl Jones, they interviewed him, and when he was dealing with his, I don't know if it's white wife or some white lady, and as to why he prefers white women versus black women. We covered a lot of the stuff here, and the thing is, when we let lame ass niggas and bitches say, oh, y'all copy the white man. No, you bitch ass nigga, we didn't copy shit. It was some shit to where it was both two people just talking about men problems, and then black men spit off and said, hey, we need to talk about our problems specifically. Okay, don't just join the motherfucking whole thing. Like Obsidian said, hey, I'm white, I'm Indian, I'm Asian, I'm whatever. Every group of dudes got their own motherfucking personal problems. Okay, no matter how much motherfucking Asians money they got, them hoes don't like them. Okay, they go they paying them to fuck some nigga, all right, or some white boy. More likely white boy, because you know Asian women are obsessed with white men. So, and people don't even understand once we start breaking a lot of this shit down, man. Literal, you know, the white women worship, well, white people as a general worship white culture and white people. That's why fucking Goku and Naruto and all the motherfuckers white. Like they even draw the motherfucker. They even draw.
No, those are Asians worshiping white culture. That's
not
a whole
true.
other unique
Goku is a
phenomenon.
Saiyan. He's a Saiyan race.
That's what he meant. That's what he
That's
meant.
what I said. Well, I said it wrong. My bad. I might have said it backwards. But I said, yeah, the Asians are worshiping white people. But I would have said vice versa. My bad. That's what I meant.
Goku is a Saiyan. He's not Caucasian. Right?
Bullshit. He's looking white. That motherfucker white.
Everybody on the show look
No,
white.
it's not even just Goku, bro. Like I remember when I just kind of I came into it late, but Cowboy Bebop, like I started watching that. I'm like, bro, that's a white boy, bro, and this is like Asian like anime. They always doing that with anime.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, it was a white boy with a fro. It was kind of weird. It was all kind of fucked up.
And they actually they even depict black people in wild ways. Like Asian culture is a whole other thing.
That's why that's why this space and these discussions is bigger than just like, you know, even monetization or content strategy. It's rhetoric. This whole thing has been a war of rhetoric. Like that's how feminism and black women and women at large have got market share and have influenced the way they have. They've crafted rhetoric, ways of describing and they've invented ideas and concepts. They've argued for them.
See, like this piece of shit right here. Don't block them. Let them rock. Right. This dumbass piece of shit troll that is never gonna show their face, is never gonna hit a fucking panel. The shit wide open right now. All they do is fucking suck dick from the chat every day and talk shit about some shit they don't know nothing about. Troll motherfuckers. I hate trolls, bro. I hate trolls. That grown ass trolls that never. I can understand trolling sometimes, but add nothing of substance to a conversation. What's your your mama should have swallowed, nigga.
This is what I was talking about earlier a minute ago. Like there are black men who legitimately think that black men, generally speaking, unless you like the Michael Jordan of niggas, you don't have a right to have any criticism of just the way things are, whether it's women or whatever. Unless you out here fighting the white man. Those the only niggas who get to like have a criticism of anything. You have to be officially fighting the white man.
Hood. What was these niggas doing during George Floyd? They were crumping. Niggas was crumping.
Twerking, electric sliding, all of that.
But we was coons and we was all fucked up because we was like, bro, what are y'all doing? Y'all you know you just burnt down the fucking black man's business, right? I never forget this shit, bro. It's very few things that I can remember verbatim of just like, you know, in detail when I do this shit. When we covered the whole, you know, George Floyd riot shit, right? Bro, it was a dude in Minneapolis, where the fuck it was, right? Bro, they wrecked his store, burnt it down, trashed the man's whole. He's a black man. He owned a bar. Shit was what's the name, bro? And all he had was like one sentimental thing he would even get out of the rubbish, right? The motherfucker, bro, he was in tears. This man's whole life working, his dream was destroyed by niggas over an ancient nigga. Over one ancient nigga.
Bro, you know, we were talking about Bernard Riley's channel earlier, and I've done a lot of content with Bernard because we had like a weekly thing at like Saturday. And one of the things that popped up, even before we even had that whole weekly show, on the George Floyd issue, right? I was there on the ground floor of the whole Black Manosphere breakup on the George Floyd issue, right? And on Bernard Riley's channel, I remember there was an officer. I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm pretty sure it was a St. Louis guy. It was a retired black cop who had, I think he was like working security or at some place.
I think he was a security guard from Atlanta. I know you're talking about. He got a YouTube channel.
Well, there was a guy who actually took the panel and he broke down in tears. He was crying because that was like his uncle or something that died in the George Floyd riot. Like it was on like the first couple of days, like they just shot this dude who was like guarding some little store or whatever. And turns out he was like retired police captain or something like that. Like he worked his way up. He was kind of big man in the police department before he retired. He was a black guy. And one of his like relatives just happened to be on the panel talk about that. Like that was his uncle. And we had just happened to be playing the video of his uncle when it happened. And it was like a whole crazy thing. And it's like, bro, like you don't understand. You guys love of the traditional black culture. This is the conclusion of it all, right? Just niggas dying for nothing. And we really got to rethink this whole thing. And this is kind of why the Black Manosphere got hate, because we a lot of people in this space are just like, nah, that stuff is crazy. Like it doesn't matter if I'm black too, that shit is crazy. Y'all niggas is crazy, and we can't just approach things this way. And you know, it's rough maybe being the guy who breaks from the herd, but that's what it takes sometimes, because it's not about the random nigga who wants to go out and protest and throw some shit at police and run into the store and steal some Nikes, bro. It's about the life of that kind of guy who worked his whole life being a cop and raising a family and being a solid, decent man and raising solid, decent people on the way. Like that's the kind of thing that has to go forward.
This is my question. Why did that? Because like you said, the space is hated from the outside because we do cultural critique of the black, you know, experience. And we the only ones that's honest about the cultural. We give honest critique, and that's constant across the board. And we debate things along the way. Why did this police brutality George Floyd issue why was that the straw that broke it? Why did that create such a split?
Because you were being critical of a black man, period, regardless of who he was. So you were supposed to be lockstep, and we're not the Black Lives Matter part, right? So niggas, we told niggas that Black Lives Matter was a scam, even before the George Floyd shit happened, because I think back in 2019 or 2020, and it wasn't just us. It was Marcellus Wiley. I don't know if y'all remember this. Marcellus Wiley caught a lot of flack because Marcellus Wiley, at the time, he had just got on TV and he called the shit out. And he's like, hey, man, they're talking about, you know, overthrowing or getting rid of the nuclear family and all this other shit and so on and so forth. I'm like, no, I don't align with that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, and we talked about that here too before. And then the George Floyd shit happened and the whole world was moving with the shit, bro. Remember, they had a fucking, I think it was France. They had a BLM fucking rally or whatever protest or whatever the fuck over in France.
It was in New Zealand. They went to New Zealand with that. Fantastic. It was everywhere.
I don't remember that part. So that's what I'm saying. So
it was all over. It was like Israel. It was.
Yeah, I knew it was a worldwide thing, but I know specifically they had like a rally in France. I remember that specifically, right? So you had the BLM shit movement going, and we told motherfuckers, hey man, y'all understand all this BLM shit is they got backing by Soros. We found they was linked to whatever the Democratic fucking fund thing was and all this other shit and blah blah blah. And you know the nigga died, and so I told y'all this is the reason why I say we gotta leave. Niggas gotta abstain from racism and talking about racism at least for like a couple years, bro, fully, because you can't handle it. You can't tell niggas that he had his knee on his neck. Okay, well he didn't have his knee on his neck. His knee was on his upper shoulder. Well, he didn't have to. Well, brother, people done showed it as much as fucked up as it may be. If I'm 270 pounds, bro, I put my motherfucking knee on your goddamn shoulder, your ass still gonna be able to breathe. Okay, the nigga died because he was high. He had too many drugs in the system. Okay, if you say that though, you're a coon. You this, you that. You know,
take out an elephant. He had
even though the toxicology report support the shit, and allegedly he had just had COVID before then, which would also put stress on his fucking his respiratory system, right? So you got stress on your respiratory system. You begged to get out of the car when you was in the car already, when they should have just forced your dumb ass in there and slammed the door regardless. But because they listen to you, claustrophobus, right? All right, the nigga end up dead, and now his family gets a payout. Never heard of in the history of fucking any citizen, American citizen in life. This nigga gets a motherfucking payout for whatever, for a big ass motherfucking
military funeral, bro. Golden caskets. He had two funerals, bro. He died twice, bro. How you die twice, bro? That's crazy.
Kobe Bryant died earlier that same year, if I remember right. Kobe died in 2020, right? Or late 2019.
It was January like 1920 or 20.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about it? What's Barbara Streisand gave like his daughter a Disney star. Kyrie Irving bought a house for them. Shit was crazy.
But see, I think we can't conflate the organization with the movement, though, and I think that's what happens all the time. I think it was clear because the movement existed with the other shorty that got shot in St. Louis. Black BLM was an actual movement, grassroots movement that was co-opted.
Yeah, they took it over.
Let me lay out an argument though, and this is kind of a heavy thing to swallow, but let me just point this out. Right, over the generations of the civil rights era, and then we had like the revolution, the Black Panthers and all that, right? All the gains of fighting racism have slowly gone to women and other non-blacks, which means Black men specifically don't really make the top of the list of people who need to be addressed in terms of issues and government solving problems, right?
Yeah.
So my contention is, as a strategic position, Black men should not be fighting racism. Fighting racism is how women win. And the gains that come from fighting racism seem to go to women in particular. And so I think it's a losing strategy for Black men to be constantly talking about racism as a thing. Men should be talking about the things that are near and dear to men. And that means Black men should be catering their concerns politically toward the things that are specific to men and only men.
Yeah,
because once you make it about racism, the women start to win and they take advantage, and they don't care about your issues as men specifically. Women care about racism. Black women care about racism because that's how Black women get a bigger check, right? Exactly. But they don't care about the problems of men because that cuts away from their check. And I'm not trying to give voice to anything that helps their bag grow. I want to grow your bag. I want to grow my bag as Black men. I don't want to grow their bag.
And it's not to downplay the racism, but I definitely agree, because I believe racism is used as a buffer. People talk about the buffer class. Racism is used as a buffer construct for Black men. So it's like you'll never get to what you actually need, because you'll always be reminded, hey, you don't want to be like the white guy. You don't want to be a white supremacist. Yeah, I'm like, no, but I want to raise my family and I want to be the leader of my family. Oh no, that sounds like Eurocentric.
I get what y'all saying.
That's exactly how they hit you, bro.
Or they'll say, you say, you know what? I'd appreciate if Black women lost the weight or in the gym. Oh no, you're subjecting us to Eurocentric beauty standards, right? So that's what hood conservative is getting at.
So the
everything Black men want for Black men, they accuse it of a white supremacist base.
No,
I hate that whole association.
I definitely think Black women have essentially used racism, the concept of anti-Blackness and racism and institutional and structural racism, and kind of lessen the potency. Obviously, like you said, they sold much of that moral capital that drove the civil rights movement to white women and other minority groups, essentially. So yes, I understand the concept of that racism has been cheaply weaponized by our female counterparts, and collectively that has an impact on how we can use it going forward. But talking about racism, I mean, considering racism.
How does fighting racism in the WNBA help a nigga?
That's a specific.
You see what I mean? How does fighting racism in the WNBA help a nigga?
That's how women have used it because that's not black men didn't come up. Don't
but this is kind of what we're faced with, right?
Not really. We don't really entertain that. That's like some Angel Reese bullshit that black men.
But that's one element that's there, though. That's there's many ways.
We shouldn't fight. We shouldn't talk about or fight racism.
No. We should fight for men to have sovereignty over men. Let me not say that. We should fight for men to have sovereignty over their family in the order of how they want to raise their children.
Don't that mean
fighting for racism is not going to help you win that battle?
Yes, I mean, so you don't believe institutional racism is still a thing?
I think there's far more practical discrimination against men than there is against black men in particular. Like if you go like when you go to the schools, when you go to the schools, they'd rather talk to the mom. When you go to the hospitals, they assume they ask the woman questions about whether or not she's being beat up by you. Like little weird things like that. Like they assume that men are wrong at every turn.
No? You're saying no, you don't believe in institutional or structural racism?
I don't know that that's our main problem.
But that's not answering the question, bro.
I'll answer. It's way less of an issue than you think it is. Then,
well, yeah, let me answer it. So, racism is going to always exist, right? But racism isn't exclusive to black people. That's the issue and problem, right? So, what I'm saying is that trying to constantly fight something that's never going to stop, right, is pointless. There's never going to be a day when you stop racism from anybody to anybody, white to black, black to white, white to Asian, Asian to white, Indian to fucking everybody, Arab to whoever, so on and so forth. The point is there's far more other things that we can fix and far more other things that we can move, especially from an internal aspect, before we even have to start. We're looking outside to do anything. As long as shit is fucked up, a divided house cannot stand, right? As long as we handle it within, we're never going to be able to quote unquote fight the big bad white man. Okay,
my only pushback to that, Fantastic, is, are you saying, okay, there's a lot of issues intercommunally that we can handle that got nothing to do with racism? But I would beg to differ. I would beg that the families, that house being divided is a deliberate tactic starting in the 60s.
Yeah, I wouldn't deny that.
Racist.
And you will be
house. But the house is divided by feminism, not by racism, though.
Well, no, Hood. No, it's part of it too. So
feminism is racism.
Well, no, feminism is racism. Feminism feminism isn't racism. Feminism is a extension of communism, Marxism, right? But either way, right? We'll come back to that.
No, we can argue that.
And I would listen, CNC. I would say you are correct 1,000%, sir. Right? Racism. We say it all the time. Social experiment, all that shit. Right? The point of the matter is we can't go back to the 60s and change that.
No.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this: now that we know the playbook, now that we know everything that's being done, you reverse engineer it, or you stop doing the shit that we know got us to that point. That's the problem. The problem again lies in the black women having the power. The fucking government, racism, white supremacy, the system, however you want to put it, right? Unseated the man, removed the man from the fucking factor of the man being the head and the top, right? The shit's on cruise. Now the women, once the women get the power, the women get the leverage. The women are choosing to keep the leverage and power versus fix it for everybody.
Yes.
Again, welfare wasn't only available to black women. It was available to white women, Mexican women, whoever the fuck, right? Even though we know black women don't even have the highest poverty rate. I think Hispanics got a higher poverty rate, and definitely like Native Americans and shit. So what I'm saying is, even when they had the opportunity to work with the black man, they were refusing to do it. Right. There's no way, like I said, and then you go and you cross-reference the things. Black men and black women make more money than Hispanics, yet still Hispanics household are above us. You know what I'm saying?
Let me point something out as far as the Hispanic thing goes, right? Because I talked about this a second ago. The Hispanic community is like, how come the blacks aren't protesting with us, yada, yada, yada. But there's an issue, a long-standing issue between the black community and the Hispanic community in terms of just economics, right? Without even getting into the real beefs, on the streets and stuff like that. When it comes to like the workplace, this is a common phenomenon that's happened over and over again. Once the place has enough Hispanic employees, it becomes mostly Hispanic, right? And they don't necessarily hire black people. And we don't necessarily attribute that to systemic racism, but I don't know another practical definition for the term. That's literally what that is. But there's no There's no political platform to fight that kind of thing. And the only way to actually fight that kind of thing is to have numbers and to have competent men. And the only way to get there is to have order in the home. And so how do you get order in the home? You have to fight for men to have control of the home.
And you have to recognize that in a racialized society, there's other out-group men that don't want you to have power. That's a racial.
But they're not Latino, and they're not necessarily white either. All men suffer this thing.
Latinos aren't a dominant. The reason why it's focused on white people and not Latino, we don't say that Spanish grocery store needs to hire more blacks because they're not a dominant society in the country. They're not they don't hold the power in the country.
But they're the people taking the jobs from the majority of black people. It's not even a white on black battle when it comes to the front line, like blue collar workplace.
I just don't see how race can be separated. I get what y'all mean that y'all would prefer that we didn't have to combat race, or y'all are making the case that we really don't have to combat race. There's other things that race ain't got nothing to do. But
it's a strategic argument.
So no. The thing is, again, it's uncompatible. Outside of doing the shit that we can do to where we superseded like all of the other foreign people have done and like the Asians have done. Again, it's very simple, and that's why I'm saying that's why I can't use that as an excuse, CNC, because listen, the Asians have overcome the white man. Okay, the Asians out-earned the white man. What did the Asians do in order to get there? Just fucking wash, rinse, repeat. You feel me? But niggas don't want to do that. Niggas want to sit back and talk about, oh, they owe us this, oh, they owe us that, oh, and I understand it. But again, you know, instead of waiting for you to finally get a white man give you some shit that you claim he done owed you for forever, he's never gonna fucking give you. How about we just fix the shit we can fix, and then we don't even care because we're doing so good. It don't even matter. You don't hear fucking Mexicans motherfucking complaining about the white man. You don't hear Asians complaining. You don't hear Arabs complaining. They just do shit and they work together. You know what I'm saying? Within their community to where they can't be fucked with. We say this all the time. Listen, there's no way, shape, form, or fashion that the weave industry should exist in America and black women not run it. No way. It's a $1 billion industry. Yet it's still the people making the less money and putting the most money into it are who? So that's what we're saying, man. The problem is, you know, this racism is not going nowhere. When you say that, oh, you a coon. No, I'm not a coon, nigga. I'm just telling you the facts. That's like motherfuckers trying to fight the rain.
No, I don't think you're right. I think it's a fool's errand and kind of immature to try to extinguish prejudice and racism and in-group, out-group dynamics. That's just social dominance. It's a function of being a human. But combating it or understanding, okay, because we're not in a black dominated society. Like we know that. So you're making the point that this shit ain't fair, and these people, we shouldn't expect them to be fair. But pretending that our race and institutional racism deliberately, this is not a coincidence that the Asians and everybody else can mechanize their communities and we can't. It's not just a roll of the dice, nigga. It was a Negro problem in this country for hundreds of years before any of them arrived. They've been deliberately oriented.
Let me point out a problem to you though. Like, all right, the civil rights era was men, and it wasn't just like niggas and you know, living in a mama house, niggas in the basement, whatever the incel reputation was. Like the civil rights era, when men wanted to change things, it was men who were of substance, and we don't necessarily have that type of black community
in hood. Why do you think that is? What do you call that?
But the problem I'm saying is the problem to not even to not even get past what you're trying to point out. The problem I'm saying is to get back to that level of men who are able to address the problem. How do you create that class of men? You have to address the issue of men directly, and that isn't necessarily fighting racism. That means you have to focus on men specifically. And then what I'm trying to also add into is historically, if you look at the last 2, 3, 4 generations of Black America, what has happened is we went from fighting racism to helping women. And I'm just arguing that we should focus on men instead of doing these other things.
Absolutely. But I think if you want to talk about history has clearly shown the reason why our black ass as men are not in the throne of power like we were in the 60s when we were working together and actually getting monumental legislation crafted and passed is by design. It's called it's white. It's white
by our
people's
design,
consent.
though. No, by our design. Let me point out to you. Let me
No,
point
no,
out
that's
to you
not that's
why
not
it was by
historically
our
that's
design
not
as black
historically
people.
accurate, Hood.
It is. It
Black
is
men
not
didn't
only
remove
historically,
themselves.
it is ideologically accurate, because the Black Revolution wanted to create Black warrior women who could fight on the front lines alongside the black man to overthrow what we call white supremacy. And the whole problem is warriors were not meant to raise families together. So if you create women warriors and men warriors, you can't expect those two groups of people to now want to be families together. The women want a man they can dominate, and the men want a woman they can dominate. Those two groups of people aren't supposed to pair off together. We've made a warrior class of women that the men can't be with.
No,
because that was the
ahistorical.
revolutionary ideology. We
Hood,
wanted equality with the women. We
that's
wanted the women to be
ahistorical.
equal so they can fight the men. No, that is literally the ideology of the Panthers and all the revolutionary types. That's how black feminism became so strong after the Panther Revolution.
Angela Davis and the Panther feminists complained constantly that the men were too patriarchal. That is ahistorical.
Right. Because patriarchy is against the black revolutionary ethos. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you.
It's against black female ethos.
No,
that was
it's revolution, period.
The civil rights movement is riddled with black male leadership that ushered in all the rights our black ass have today. So no, that is not 19. Black women were empowered by the state to dethrone. Did not have to rely on us to dethrone us. It was not black men removing ourselves. That's not
once
true.
It went past Dr. King and it became like the Panthers and a revolution, the ideology literally became women are equal soldiers and warriors to men. And that has never shifted. It's only grown since then. And that's the state of the black community now. That's the mindset of black men right now. Why can't the women lead? Why can't the women be in charge? There's nothing wrong with being the strong, independent, single black women. This is an ideology baked into the mind of black culture.
But you're speaking of it like black men of the past crafted that ideology, and that's
we adopted it.
So who crafted it?
Fair enough. It wasn't crafted by us, but I'm not shaking us from ownership because we have to accept it. We have to look it in the mirror.
No, we're at war, bro. We've been at war. It's not if we're not bumbling idiots. We're they're on the offense and have been on the offense to make it less likely that we would produce Dr. Kings and Malcolm X's and all the different type the long legacy of revolutionary thinkers and men that we've produced. It's by design. It's not because we made a mistake.
But what is the revolution for? For men and women to be equal, or for men to raise their children properly?
The revolution was not the civil rights revolution was not for men and women to be equal. It was for black people. It was for black people as an ethnic group to have equal opportunity and equal citizens.
We have that now. So now we need men to set order.
And the reason why that's not that simple, hood conservative, why they haven't matriculated out of the ether, is because they've been thwarting that by empowering our women for the last 60 years. So this is not an accident.
Well, the women are empowered now. So let's not focus on the things that women want us to focus on, which is fighting racism and equality and gender right. Let's not focus on those things. Let's focus on the things women dare not focus on, because why would they care about us? They have the power they want.
I understand your sentiment, but I think it's a massive blind spot to say, as black men with the history we have in this country, and as a subordinate out group males, to not consider
what racial goal do you want
in how we maneuver going forward.
What specific racial goal do you want? Like be very specific in your claim as black men. What is it that you want for us that is an issue we should move behind?
I want us to back the black male political agenda. I think that got every solution in it. The 19-point black male political agenda.
The black male political agenda isn't about women either, bro. Like I know that agenda. This is what I mean. Like focus on men. My issue with the black male political agenda is a little bit about the racial stuff, but that's not about women either. Focus on the men.
You're being unreasonably allergic to the concept of racism.
Well, but again, the black male political agenda is about men, though. So I'm not fighting you on those terms.
Right.
It's about men, not about racism per se. There's some racism stuff in there, but it's that 19-point list is not 19 points of racism.
Not racism, but it's based in the concerns of a particular ethnic group in this country, which is a racialized country that considers black and white and Latino and Asian as groups that are interest groups. I mean, it is what it is.
Let's walk through it. Let's not be vague. What are the points racially that black men need to fight for as a specific
Nigga, we could go through the. You want to go through the agenda?
No, I'm just asking you real quick. Like
every point is related to black men, which is a racial classification. So every point is not general for men. It's for black men. It's a black male political agenda. It's not about
the reason why I'm trying to put you on the spot with that is to highlight how it's really more about men than it is about race, bro. Because when I ask you about the race thing, you get vague, but it's easy to be specific about the things men kind of want from the political arena right now.
What you're asking me about the race thing?
Because the black racial issues have been worked out largely at this point.
Really?
The issues that black people have, I don't think are purely racial.
We understand the dynamics of the gender war because we understand the racial dynamics of this country. Most people just think men or women arguing on the internet because of I don't know what, but we understand, at least I understand. I'm not sure how much history you've been studying in terms of how what's been going on in terms of relationship dynamics in the black community for the last 60, 100 years. Really, it's been studied that we understand.
I don't know history.
I didn't say you didn't know. I'm not sure what particular history you're familiar with because it doesn't sound like you're referencing. You understand, like you don't understand that 1964 Civil Rights Bill and sex being added and how that affected. Like you don't understand this long. It's a long story.
Hold on, what bill was added? What bill was added?
1965 Civil Rights Act. The one that there's the bedrock of civil rights legislation, essentially, is what affirmative action eventually was crafted out of.
And what was added to affirmative action?
Sex was added to the Civil Rights Act, which was signed by
and you see why I'm focusing on the head fake of the whole issue, because civil rights wasn't about gender specifically, but somehow they worked it in there. And then instead of it being a racial thing, which a lot of the racial issues were worked out legally, it now becomes this infinite quest to make women equal to men. Like at this point, and I've been talking about this a lot on my own channel, the modern state of government outside of like global issues, because I hear like there's a big major military issue happening right now, but modern government on a domestic front exists to help women live apart from men. And as men, we cannot go forward with this type of thing.
I can agree with that. I don't know where.
So how do we fight that? By fighting racism.
Racism is. We're in America, bruh. I don't get what the purpose of pretending racism doesn't exist.
You see how it's hard for us to get from A to B? Like we don't disagree either. We don't even disagree, bro. That's crazy. We don't even disagree. But I'm just saying.
But you asked me to prove your point.
We both agree. No. It's not even that. It's not even that. I'm just saying that we both agree that there is an issue as far as like the men's issue is concerned. But I don't know how we can solve the issue about men. And we're focused on fighting racism.
You keep framing it as we're focused on fighting racism. I just merely say racism is a vector or a metric in which we have to consider in terms of our strategy. If we're putting together a strategy as a group of men, you say men coming together, really controlling something and collaborating, to not include the long ass history and pattern of racism and institutional racism regarding just to black men and boys, how that school to prison pipelines, the employment rates, how those things are connected to race.
Well, let me
pretending
make
that
it
has nothing
really
to do with
big.
race. I don't see the utility of that. I don't get.
Let me make it base and simple, right? Because you're not necessarily wrong in the questioning you just posed, but like, how do you fight this without just focusing on strong men who are equipped with the abilities, the capabilities of dealing with the world as it is? Like, women can't face this myriad issue of problems and stratagems. Do you expect women to face this myriad issue of stratagems, racial quandaries and conundrums and shit?
No. And if they
so like why focus on the things that help them instead of focusing on the things that help us as men? I'm just saying that fighting racism doesn't really help us as men. It just seems to only help the girls.
I get why you say that, because the way it's been traditionally used and how Black women have craftily used the plight of Black Americans and the racial problems and historical problems to their benefit, to leverage and empower themselves. I get why you would say that, but I think that's then to say, see them doing that and how that's actually disempowering Black men. We need to do the opposite, which is pretend racism doesn't affect us. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Let me read the super chat and it's all linked to it. I don't think the argument being made, since that racism does not affect us. It's just the fact of the matter that it isn't at this point in time.
Excuse.
In 20, yeah, in 20, not even an excuse. Let me say this right. Mm-hmm. So it's not an excuse. At this point in time, there are 10 things internally that are far more detrimental and far more important that we could be working to fix versus working on something externally that doesn't supersede or cause more negative effects than those 10 things internally, right? Okay. So what we're saying is trying to constantly, and then you're constantly distracted. So this is why I agree with Hood at, right? If we're just gonna constantly talk about racism, white man, okay, then you get to black women use it to their advantage, because then Black women are feminists and racialists, right? So, you scared of that white man. That's why you want to talk to me. No, bitch, it's not. I'm scared of the white man. That white man gonna be right there doing whatever the fuck he's doing. I'm successful. I live my life the right way. I ain't doing nothing stupid. So I use the motherfucking white man system to, get ahead and use it to my advantage. The same way the Asians did, the same way the Arabs do, the same way everybody else does, and the same way your dumb ass could too. But you don't want to do that. You want to be lazy, and you want me to do all the motherfucking work, and then come back and do even more work to fight this motherfucking imaginary boogeyman white man, because you want to sit on your ass and collect government benefits. So that's the problem. Like you said, we go back
instead of working with you, right? If that's the key, instead of
working with me, you gonna beat that white man, and then you give me after you slay the big bad white man dragon, you come back and give me all the spoils of your defeat, of your conquest. No, bitch. No,
and I don't agree with that. So no,
I'm not saying you do. I'm just giving the other perspective, and like everything you say.
I don't want to beef with you. See, like it's not that I hate you, but we really gotta hash this out, because it's not that you're coming from a really crazy angle, but this is an argument that has to be hashed out.
Yeah, and it's it's crazy. Again, it's best that we do it amongst brothers, because then, like you said, brothers like yourself, you have the knowledge, you've done the research, you know everything, and you speak about it to the T. And like I said, that's why we didn't disagree with anything you're saying about racism, the planning of it, the carrying out of it, all these different things. But the focus is, once you transcend that point and you let that shit go, right? Not saying you ignore it, you say it don't exist. I've never once said racism don't exist. I just say racism don't fuck with me. Racism don't fucking affect me, bro. You feel me?
I could dig that. Long as we not, that's what I understand what y'all saying, especially how it's been used contemporarily. Race,
it's purposely used as a red herring to one of the biggest things that keeps Black men from criticizing Black women to fix their issues and problems is, you scared of that white man. You don't want to deal with racism, though.
Let me ask a personal question. Is racism the reason why you guys don't have the family that you imagine having?
I think that's honestly, if I look at the history, I know the state of the Black family is not a random phenomenon. I know that that's actually been engineered. I'm not even making excuses for Black women's behavior or Black men's behavior. It's been engineered We are being engineered to be the permanent underclass. Right after civil rights, they said these niggas are too influential across the planet. We was in Africa fucking up apartheids. They said we got to get these black men out of the driver's seat. Best way to do that is get these bitches some money, and black women ran with that shit. That is, and now the state of our families and the culture around marriage and the culture around divorce and the culture around raising children is all fucked up because black men ain't been at the helm of it since welfare kicked in, essentially.
You know what though? I'm glad you said that. You know, it's a great like way to disprove, well, not disprove it, right? But show how if people want to change, they can change, right? The crack era, right? Crack era, 80s, early to mid 80s, and it hit everywhere pretty much nationwide, probably late 80s, early 90s, right? People still smoking crack like that, bro?
Right.
No, it's kind of
just went out of style, kind of.
So that's what I'm saying. Just the way you can stop doing certain shit that you know is detrimental or is whatever for whatever reason. Even to the credit, right? Black women, the teen pregnancy is like, bro, it's in the fucking, it's in the negatives compared to 20 years ago. You feel me? So the things they want to change can change. It's just the fact of the matter of being like, okay, well, why you don't want to change this? It's clear why you don't want to change. Like you said, Callus, now I get the motherfucking jump back and blame the white man. Well, it's a white man system, white supremacy, white supremacy. No, bitch, no, bitch. You ain't got a motherfucking, you ain't gotta go put that man on motherfucking child support. And then not only put him on child support, but then hit him for arrears. And y'all been living with each other for the last 3 years. Y'all raised this baby together. This man changed every diaper. He was, whatever. Anything you needed, he was there for his child. Then what the bitch do, Callus? She motherfucking go to the motherfucking courthouse and she motherfucking demand arrears. And now fuck this man whole motherfucking what's name up, right? Fuck his whole financial station up. He can be put in jail at any time. He can't do this shit. If it's a certain amount of money he can't motherfucking get a passport. He can't travel. He can't even enjoy his life because now this bitch out of spite done put him in a fucking system, the same white supremacist system, because it's to her advantage.
Right.
And that's what constantly happens. So
and you know what?
Just real quick, you got it. Hood. Let me say this and then I'll read this and then Hood is on you. So what happens is, right, the same system that black women say we too scared to fight, they use the most against us. Yeah. Okay, we just seen this shit with the whole DDG fucking situation, and motherfuckers say, "Oh, I didn't know her tooth was chipped like 2 years ago." Yeah, motherfucker, but y'all niggas didn't care about seeing the fucking information because the black woman claiming some bullshit, and we know that bitches do this shit all the time. Let me read this and then it's on you, Hood. Shout out to my man West M for the 20 ball. I greatly appreciate you, bro. Ain't nothing but some money. CC, you need to listen to Teach Him Chuck. He breaks down how Marxism was intertwined with the Black Power movement. Huey Newton talked about how black people need to move like the gays and how he respected them. Oh, hell no. Yeah, and that's another big thing too. That most people don't know, man. Listen, all of those fucking movements, man, even the fist, the black fist, that's like, y'all do know that's a communist motherfucking symbol, right?
Yeah.
That's a communist symbol.
But
all these,
you got to give it context because in that time, they were at the time the West was embroiled in the competition with the the communists. It was communism versus democracy, and because black people at the time during the civil rights era, we were being fucked over by white people in this country overtly on TV. The Black Panther Party definitely entertained Marxist concepts. Because it was the direct competitor. It was like enemy of my enemy is my friend. But
that literally, bro, see that literally has transformed into the most perverse outcome. Like we talk about the communist fist as a logo. Fisting is not straight people culture. Fisting is what they do. We don't do that. And the thing is, the very issue has morphed into stuff like heterosexuality is straight white patriarchal culture. Like they have literally separated straightness from blackness.
It's obviously been hijacked. Yes.
No, it hasn't really been hijacked. No, this is why when Fantastic talked about Huey P. Newton giving shout out to the gays being the best revolutionaries,
crazy.
They were revolting against heterosexuality because the patriarchal family is anti-communist. Yes. Communism is gay. Fisting is gay. We don't do that.
But the free lunch program came out of that same line of thought. A communist. A lot of the
That's how
social
they get you,
safety
bro.
nets
Free food, bro.
we
They
have.
got you with free food, bro. Don't go, bro. Don't go.
I got you. So no, see, so think about it. That's a socialist project, right?
It
And that falls
absolutely
what?
is.
Socialism comes from what? Marxism, communism. So again, there's going to be some positives. There's always going to be some positives if you look at the shit the proper way. But then if you even start getting into it as to where outside of the communism shit, I forget who the other nigga was, not Huey P. Newton, but the other nigga, he was according to the women in the movement, that nigga was a predator of women.
Yeah,
he was taking pussy like
women. But these are black women we talking about too, and they all talk shit about.
Yeah, but I think Buddy was actually, if I remember right, if he wasn't accused, I mean, if he wasn't convicted, he was definitely, I think he was convicted of the shit.
Yeah,
not sure.
Eldridge Cleaver, right? Soul on Ice,
Yeah.
bro. Listen, nobody wants to address the dark side of that whole era, and I'm like, nah, bro. We've been sold some unholy goods, man.
We can't do that. I mean, because think about it. That's basically acting like black men ain't being held accountable since the dawn of fucking time. We need to make sure.
No.
We're held accountable for everything.
Men are always held accountable because that's the world of men. It's not necessarily because you're black either. The world of men is that way. We hold our enemies accountable. We'll even hold our bros accountable. But that's just how men are. And this is what I mean about it's not necessarily about the race. It's about the man. If you want to strengthen the race, focus on the man.
I agree with that. If we can agree there. I don't disagree with that 100%.
Yeah, shout out to Will's Wardrobe. See, like, hey, that shit documented, man. Unfortunately. Yeah, Eldridge Flack was on black women, then moved on to white women. So.
Yeah, man. Definitely was on some questionable shit. But no, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, man. Again, at the end of the day, bro, like I said, no, it's, I know it's a sensitive subject, but it's so, Lord, most of these niggas, especially niggas younger than us, if you under 25 years old, bro, even probably under 30, but definitely under 25, you don't know shit about no racism. You're not attached to nobody that's got racism and experienced it. Bro, my mama went to fucking segregated schools in Georgia. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? When my grandma was here and so on and so forth, I had people that actually motherfucking worked on a plantation type shit.
Gen Z don't talk about race the same way millennials and Xers do. Once
different.
We go, it'll be the conversation will be different.
And then what will it be once we go? Then think about that.
We had it on the crash course in terms of the traditional black community, so it probably won't be much. But we're gonna try to save as many black men as possible.
There you go.
Possible.
You can't save the men. What are you saving?
Exactly, man. But hey, I greatly appreciate you, brothers, man. This was a great conversation to end this thing up, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. For sure. Yeah. Oh shit. Hey man, shout out to Obsidian for doing the interview. It turned into some hell. Even shout out to Gabe A, man. Like I said, we had an actual conversation. Like I said, outside of the trolling shit, the brother's accomplished. He's not no dummy. He just loves to troll so much or whatever. But hey, it turned into some totally different, man. I was expecting, what I'm saying, just to be done and over with. But hey, that's why I say it's the importance of conversation. I tell you guys that all the time. You feel me? We may not agree on things, we may not see things eye to eye. But having a lot of conversation, man, come bring you to realize that, bro, you're probably not that far off, man. You feel me? All right, we agree on a lot of more things. We understand, we agree to. It's just that you're coming at it from a different angle, or you don't have the full perspective. So I hope. Oh, shout out to Hood if he about to go live. Make sure y'all pull up on Hood, man. Right. This does something. Right. I hope it does something positive. You feel me? So that's that on that one, man. Miss Fantastic 824 on all social media platforms. That's that on that. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Holla, we out.